my bundles of joy. This is Annex Joy, and today's pick a card reading is what are my magical abilities? So I've been really getting into this D20 D&D campaign called Magical Misfits, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun to just kind of go through what magical abilities that we possess and what our general magic abilities are, our strongest ones, and stuff that we can work on, because it's always fun to have a little bit of a challenge. So there are 4 piles for you today. This is pile 1 with the pumpkin. This is pile 2 with the wand. Yeah, it is a pencil crayon, but we're gonna use it to symbolize the wand. This is pile 3 with the amethyst crystal. And then this is pile 4 with the glass jar. Clear glass jar. As always, these readings are timeless, but since we are in the month of October, I thought it'd be fun to do this. As well as you can pause the video here to meditate on your pile if so need be. And if you know your pile, timestamps are listed down below. I'll see you there. Hi pile 1, if you've chosen this pumpkin, then this is your reading. I'm gonna set it up here for now. Alright, so the cards that you picked are the present energies that you're in right now, just so we can have a clarifier on if this is your reading or not. And then we're going to get into the rest of the reading of your general magical abilities, your strongest abilities, and something to work towards. Okay, so the energy that you're currently in is this King of Pentacles. And we also have the clarifiers of the Page of Swords and the King of Cups. Oh, cool. I definitely thought of someone like working, like getting that bag, obtaining the grain. Someone who's just very focused on their material realm. Especially who's focused on work, because I'm seeing like an office, and I'm seeing like someone like in more of a 9-to-5 setting, and who's more in like a cubicle. Doesn't have to be that, but it definitely just feels like someone who is very much in the headspace of putting their head down, doing their work so they can get what they need, get the material assets they acquire and desire, and someone who's really moving in a very intelligent way, because I'm being drawn to these dolphins up here at top of the King of Cups. It feels like you have a good head on your shoulders at this present moment in time. You're happy to wait for your accolades, because this King of Cups is really calm. This King of Cups is really just someone who's just happy to just go with the flow, make sure that they're doing the work that they need to be doing, and continuing to just patiently like go on with the day-to-day. Put their head down with this, again, King of Pentacles right here. Put their head down, do their work, and reap their rewards. With this Page of Swords here, it feels like you are someone who's communicating more in the sense of someone who's a little bit more humble. That's what this Page of Swords for this reading indicates. Because of how strong the King of Pentacles and the King of Cups is together, because of the good head on your shoulders, you have a good hard work ethic, as well as you're not someone to blow up at your day-to-day job. You're someone who can really keep composure. You're someone who's like kind of like someone in customer service who's like able to like take in any stressful moment that happens and just kind of relay back this sort of presence of calmness, of a firmness, but someone who's really like person oriented. With this Page of Swords here, it feels kind of like you have this humble communication style, this humble communication presence that you're happy to not step on anyone's toes, because this Page of Swords kind of looks more shy, a little bit more like I don't want to say naive, but I guess like more humble. Humble is just the biggest word coming up. So right now you're just very much, you're not trying to step on anyone's toes. You're just there to get your bread and do the best job that you can do, and then reap the rewards that you can. And if this doesn't apply to a work situation, this can also be if you're in domestic life, you're just someone who's really happy and content with running the ship, you know, getting everything done in the house. And right now your relationships might be in a very stable place, and you're approaching communication styles with the people around you in a very humble way, in a way where everyone's heard, and you're really in that headspace of this like newborn baby of making sure that you're listening to other people, but also getting your voice heard. And it's a very respectful, very very demure very mindful kind of energy that you're exuding at this moment. All right, so if that sounds like you, let's get into your magical abilities. We're first going to start with the general magical abilities, and then we're going to do the stronger ones, and then we're going to do the stuff that we can work on, because challenges are always fun. Without challenge, there'd be no story. All right, so for my pile ones, what are their general magical abilities? Oh, okay, cool. So you have the 9. Man, I'm still getting used to the symbols here. I believe it's the 9 of Pentacles, but let me double check with this one. You also have the King of Swords. You also have the Tower, and then you have the Moon. Okay, actually we're gonna put it on top like this. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so let me double check. Okay, no, these are swords. Okay, apologies. I love the cat tarot, but I'm still getting used to it, as always. Okay, very interesting. It feels like with this 9 of Swords here, you're someone who really knows how to transform darkness into darkness, as in the hidden realm, things that people are not willing to look at themselves, things that are more on the shadow side that people are not willing to accept. And this can also be for yourself, but in terms of magical abilities, I feel like you're someone who could really get into those deeper aspects of the human psyche and communicate them with this King of Swords here, communicate them in a very transformative way with the butterflies as well as the Tower coming up so close to it. You're someone who, whenever you do speak, whenever you do say something with conviction, especially, it is a truth bomb. It is 100% a truth bomb, especially with this moon card here. This moon always indicates someone shedding light on something. It always indicates the more hidden aspects coming to light because it's the nighttime. But it feels so more so like you're doing it in a very nurturing way, because I'm being shown it looks like a lobster here, but I know it's supposed to indicate like a crab, which is the sign of Cancer, which is the sign most known for nurturing, for being able to emotionally handle and manage. So like the sign most known for its emotional intelligence, I want to say. So it feels like you're someone who knows how to see both sides to someone. Especially, you have a really great intuition about yourself, that when you look at other people, when you get to know other people, you see not only the more composed side, the more public side, but you also see the more hidden side. You see the more instinctual side, because I'm being drawn to both of these dogs here, and both one of the dogs usually indicates the domestic form of the dog, and then the other dog is usually a wolf, which indicates the more feral, the more intuitive, instinctual aspects of the human psyche. Because I'm being drawn to both of those so well, you're like this cat who can really see both of them really well, but you usually keep your composure, keep your demeanor, keep your focus on the more domestic side, on the more public facing side, on the side that people are more comfortable showing to other people. And it is seen in your current energy as well, that you're someone who magically, who can really, you know how to read a room. You really know how to read the room well, but there's something about you that will 100% put these truth bombs down whenever necessary or needed. Like, you're probably that person in your friend group that is not afraid to kind of tell your friends, hey, like, you might want to rethink this. Or you're not afraid to tell your family, hey, what you said was not politically correct. What you said was offensive. You know, you're someone who is kind of like that moral compass, someone who, again, kind of reveals more of the I don't want to say sinister, but that's coming to my head. More sinister, more dark, more nefarious, more malicious intents of people. You kind of bring that to light, and you're this King of Swords because this is if you see, it's the same cat in these images, but you're this King of Swords who transforms what their darkness is, what their nefarity is, what their shadow self is, and you transform this into something that's easier for them to notice and see and recognize and reflect upon, especially reflect upon. And with that reflection and awareness, you're able to change the minds of others. My camera just died, so let me change the battery one moment. Apologies, pile lines. I just had to change the camera battery there. But as I was saying, I definitely feel like this is an aspect of which you already know. I definitely feel like you already know how truthful you are. I think you already understand your abilities as someone who will transform other people with the words they speak. And you're very careful about it. You're very, again, mindful about the words that you choose in order to help guide other people to transform the way that they do. Because I feel like in the past, you might have said things that have hurt other people's feelings, and that was not your intention, but it was for the betterment of that person. And it might have been something that hurt their feelings, but again, it wasn't your intention to hurt their feelings. It was your intention to really, to just kind of bring to light what they needed to hear at the moment. It feels like you're someone who already works with the divine and who is kind of automatically connected to source. And so you kind of channel through, willingly or not, because this feels sometimes like unconscious for you, things that other people need to hear. And because sometimes you felt out of control in this position of your power, of your magical ability, you are now like the Page of Swords, where you come in a position where you're more humble about it, where you are more choosy with your words, where you're someone who really like, you don't want to step on other people's toes. So because of that, you make sure what you say, especially in the workplace. I feel like you try to just kind of keep a very like composed, very mindful kind of communication style with the people around you. So that's your general magical abilities. I'm wondering if there's anything else. I'm being drawn to the scratches on the toy. So sometimes you understand how much like the scratch can be two different ways. It's coming off two different ways. So for some people who are ready to know the truth, to really understand themselves more, who have the emotional capacity to reflect upon and are aware of themselves, you kind of scratch an itch for them, you know? You kind of relieve a part of them that they needed to know, and they're very grateful and thankful for what you say to them. But for others who aren't willing to accept themselves like that, they kind of see the scratches more of like as a nuisance, as something that they just don't want to interact with, as something that's kind of an imperfection of theirs that they don't want to look at. And it's a little hard for them to really notice that and want to see it or want to interact with it. So I think those people in your past has kind of skewed you in a way where you don't want experiences like that to happen in the future. But just know that there are people out there, whether they like all the people that you have interacted with in the past, whether they know it or not, they are very grateful for this new discovery, this revealing aspect of truth that you've laid upon them. Because without your input, without you saying anything, especially without you saying anything, because your voice matters so much, because you have the King of Swords here, is that they wouldn't have been able to transform themselves. They wouldn't have been able to, if they like it or not, they really wouldn't have been able to change for the better. And it's always for the better, because you're working with the divine, you're working with source, spirit, whatever you like to call it, your god or goddesses, your deities, again, whatever you like to call it, you're working with them, and you're being basically a channel, a catalyst for people so that they can see the higher perspective, can see the broader perspective, the more interdependent perspective, because it's not just looking at the self and the person, but you're also looking at the environment and the externalities around them that make them the way they are. You know, like if someone tells you a story, you're able to pick up on the little cues that a lot of other people would just kind of brush to the side, and you kind of like make them think about that. Maybe they offhandedly say like something like Oh, like, yeah, like I was trying to, like, I was going through a really bad mental health time, and like I was like, and they jokingly say like, oh, I wanted to unalive myself, and ha ha ha, you know, and they try to pass it off as a joke, where other people might not like even acknowledge that. You're someone who would say, hey, like, I totally understand where you're coming from. I've been there myself. If you ever feel like that again, please reach out to me, because that's a serious aspect of life, and I want you to know that you're not alone and that you have other people. Like, you're someone who would compassionately make sure that the other person is heard and understood, and that their emotions are validated, especially. Okay. Oh, no, there's more. Okay. I just asked Divine Source if there's more to go off of, and there is. So I'm really drawn to two aspects of this tower moment. The little ball here that cats play with, as well as the lightning strike. So that's very interesting. With the ball, I think you kind of come off a little bit more playful, a little bit more jovial. You're very someone who has that like magical ability to really kind of lighten the mood, to make things a little bit more fun, to make your surroundings a little bit more fun. But when time comes down to it, when there's something serious happening, you're the one that delivers the lightning strike. You're the one that delivers the final blow. You're the one that delivers the truth bomb. And it's something that they're already like anticipating, because before the lightning is the thunder, is the sound of thunder. So it's like people who interact with you already know at the back of their head, or unconsciously, or like they're just kind of like pondering something that they've been thinking about. And then you kind of give them that physical confirmation from another person that, hey, yeah, this is something you probably should work on. Hey, yeah, this is probably something that you're thinking about, and you're right. Hey, yeah, like, I'm getting the song Hey Yeah. Sorry. You're someone who really is the physical manifestation of what other people are thinking. And this is interesting, because this really involves like a lot of other people. Your magical ability really involves working generally with people around you. So you are kind of like an earth angel in that sense, where you're here to deliver divine messages to other people. You're here to deliver and be a messenger for other people. And with that comes a lot of responsibility. With that comes a lot of weight, a lot of pressure, a lot of heaviness, a lot of load, because sometimes you're the one that takes the brunt of the more harsher emotions. Kind of like in customer service, you know, they're the front line that keeps everything together. They're the front line talking to the customers, and sometimes customers are not happy. Sometimes they can yell at you. Sometimes they can say very vile things. Sometimes their emotions get in the way, and they might just really like lay it hard on the customer support. And it's not like it's the customer support's fault, because there's actually a bunch of other people in play, a lot of different departments behind the customer support area that have to like actually get the order in. But like it's more like the customer support people, they are the ones who take the brunt of that emotional labor. So please take care of yourself, and I will actually pull some more cards for you in regards to some self-care, just because I know when you're in this position, taking care of yourself may feel so much like a chore, and may feel like so much like a burden. So yeah, actually I'll do that now. I'm gonna bring in some cards just to make sure that I know that you, my special little pumpkins, pumpkins, are getting the care that you need and that you so deserve for yourself. Okay. I don't know why I want to smell this card, but like I feel like you smell good or something. Or like there's an aura about you that like your scent's very you, you know? Okay. So in terms of self-care, please watch a movie. Take some downtime and go watch your favorite movie. Cuddle with your familiar, your pet. Grab yourself your favorite drink, your favorite tea, your favorite hot cocoa. And give yourself the grace and the time to spend with yourself to recharge your batteries, because I really do think you need that as someone who's just like it or not, is someone who delivers messages, who is literally an angel on earth. Please go take a walk if you feel called to. Again, this is all your choice, all this your decision. Please don't let tarot readings dictate your life, but like if you feel called to, if this was already like something that you were thinking about, please go take a walk, clear your head, you know, come back to your body. Breathe in the fresh air, you know, breathe in the scent of flowers if you can, and just take some time to yourself to do that recharge work, because it is very necessary as someone who is very highly emotionally intelligent and who has such a good head on their shoulders, where your raw intelligence is used in an enormous way. Okay, I'm gonna do one last card for my pile ones, my little pumpkins. Yeah, I also have spend time with animals. I'm not even surprised that all of these cards are very introspective, a lot more about being with yourself, if not with your familiars, if not with your animal companions, because animals are very intuitive, very healing. That's why they're also emotional supports for a lot of people. And I feel like people in your life don't emotionally support you the way that you do with them. So I think having that kind of bond with an animal will be very beneficial for your healing, for your companionship, for just generally like another being to really like reciprocate the love that you do to others. I know personally that the pet that my partner has, I've really taken akin to that, to her. She's this gorgeous, cute little tuxedo cat, and whenever I'm feeling down or upset, she will come up and like sit on my legs or cuddle me in bed. And it's been such a healing experience to have just a physical presence of an animal with me, because I, like you, am very similar in regards to this emotional tasks. And yeah, so yeah, okay. Those are some self-care things that you can do at this moment of time. We actually have a couple more things to get through, so this was a longer reading than I thought it would be, but that's okay. Just always happy to do this. So let's look at your strongest magical ability. Can we get pile one, the pumpkin pile, the cute little pumpkins. their strongest magical abilities. You have whale song resonating. Ooh, yeah. And I'm not surprised that it's more communication aspects. You also have gathering around, the power of community. Yeah, okay. And I know we talked quite a bit about this in the general aspects of your magical abilities, but that just means the general aspects of your magical abilities are actually the strongest ones that you do have, and you use it on an everyday basis. So with whale song resonating, you have this, again, very like soothing presence, very emotionally gifted presence, because I'm also being drawn to the dolphins again, this very emotionally intelligent presence, and you know how to keep it very contained. You know how, because this whale is like literally contained in this bubble, you know how to really like make sure that you and the other people that you love are protected. And the words that you say to others are very resonant. They are very important. They're very healing, especially. Some people listen to whale songs to fall asleep. To me, it really symbolizes that your magical ability to give that kind of reassurance, that kind of validation to others, it really puts their whole being at rest. It really helps them just relax. and I'm not gonna lie, channeling for you was very fluid. It was very much like I've been nonstop talking, and I didn't really like. Yeah, so it feels like you're someone who's very, again, choosy with your words, but you do it in a way that's very fluid. There's like a quickness in regards to how you say things and how you just kind of come off to people. And I also feel like if you do sing, you do have this very magical singing voice where you can heal. You can heal yourself, you can heal your body, you can heal others with the way you sing. With this gathering around the power of community, it feels like you are someone who really brings people together. You are the heart of the group. You are the person that makes the community, you know, like there's always that one person who really like kind of, without them, the whole group falls apart kind of deal. And that's how I feel like you are. You're someone who people kind of gravitate towards. People really love to be around. People love to just hang out with and trust, and you are the connective zones that help other people connect to others too. So it feels like you are someone who builds relationships, and you do it in a way where it's very intuitive. It's very magical, you know. There's a power in regards to building the community, of having friendships, of making a family, because I'm being drawn to both of these numbers. 6 and 1 adds up to 7, and 2 and 6 adds up to 8. So 7 in astrology is the house of relationships. So I'm really, really drawn and emphasizing the fact that the relationships that you do cultivate are strong. And I think that's why you need a lot of alone time, and you need a lot of rest, and you need a lot of self-care that's not with people, because of the fact that on the day-to-day basis, you're already interacting with so much people, with so many energies, that you just kind of need like just space for yourself. And so, I really feel like you're someone who can really balance that energy. And you really do bring up that community. And as regard to the 8th house in astrology, it is one of the most magical placements in in astrology because of the fact that it deals with the ruler of Scorpio, someone who is very in-depth, who really understands all facets of life, not just the happy, pleasant side, but you also get into the nitty-gritty of the things, you get into the more occult stuff, you get into the more unseen things that people don't usually like to interact with. So you're someone who really brings that out into light and make sure that you make sure that every day is basically a magical experience, whether you know it or not. There's something about you that just kind of exudes this very occult, like this very spiritual, this fairy-esque kind of quality. And I'm really glad that the fairies came into this reading, because fairies are known to be a very neutral kind of entity. They are awesome if you're awesome, and if you are more of a trickster, they will also be a trickster. And I think that's very beautiful, because of the fact that fairies won't like condone any bullshit. If they're being disrespected, they will lay down the law. And I think that's also something that you are like. I think you're not someone who takes someone's bullshit. As much as I've been calling you an earth angel, I also think you have that side to you that brings down a very thunderous lightning strike of someone who will truth bomb, who will really like put someone in their place. Yeah, that's how you feel. It feels like you're someone who puts other people in their place, because you know it's for the betterment of them. You know that it's for their highest good, and you know that someone has to do it. So you're gonna be the one to do it. Like, if someone's like being reckless, you're gonna be like, hey, this is not cool. You're not being someone who's aware of other people, and you're actively harming yourself and others by being reckless, and you're going to lay down the law in a way that's going to really resonate with them. That's really going to sink in deep into their heart space and in their mind of being like, oh damn, I fucked up. I really should change that. You're someone who really does that, and we love this for you. We really do. Whew. Okay. I know I changed my battery, so the timer I have on right now isn't actually accurate to how long this reading is. So, but this is longer than I usually do for a reading. But that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to change things up, and I think that's something about you too. I think there's a really great like freshness about you that's willing to change things up and is patient enough to kind of sit there and listen to others. So no, there's more for your strongest abilities. So in regards to the strongest magical abilities that you do have, I do also feel like I'm being really drawn to these water droplets and this boundary of protection in this Veil song resonating hard, as well as the mushroom caps. So there's something that really like is a protective quality that you bring out. There is something that like you know how to set in firm boundaries. I think you've already learned the lessons of what it means to not set in firm boundaries. So you've taken that, and you're already someone who can really like, again, lay down the law. Like, if you don't like something that's happening, you're going to speak up. You're going to be very wise about it, but you're going to be like, hey, like, I don't like what you did here. Can you stop? And if they don't, like, you're going to like, there will be consequences. You might retreat, and you might like pull back your energy, and that's some consequences that you give out, like that just kind of happens because you're not someone who's willing to share that energy with someone if they're not going to appreciate it. And it's kind of like this cone, like you kind of filter out the people that you want in your bubble, and you let the things that you don't want go, you know? Yeah. But you're a very transformative being. You're someone who really understands the power in words, and you're able to really kind of turn that cocoon into a butterfly. You really know how to make someone grow because you've already done that work on yourself, because you've already kind of delved in deep into the aspects of yourself. You're probably someone who also is quite a spiritual being. So you already, like, you spend a lot of time with yourself because you need to, and you know how that's the way you can recharge. So I really feel like you already are very self-aware and very reflective and emotionally intelligent, so that you've done so much transforming. And like, because of that, you kind of share your wisdom onto other people and like where they're at. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what age you are. Like, I feel like sometimes you lay down truth bombs to people that might be like a lot older than you, and sometimes that makes you uncomfortable because you might be someone who's like a lot younger, and like sometimes it feels like you don't want to do that, but like I feel like you feel like you need to sometimes, and you recognize that your wisdom is beyond, like it's many lifetimes cultivated of this wisdom that you carry. It's the strength that you have with your divine connection that really is this immaculate, this immaculate, beautiful soul, like this beautiful pumpkin. This pumpkin's not a regular pumpkin. If you see, there's all these like golden specks on it, and it also has like a golden little like top there. And I feel like that is really representative of you. Like, if you prepare a pumpkin, you can do it in a pumpkin pie and it makes it sweet. You can make it pumpkin tempura and it makes it savory. But like, regardless, you can like decorate a pumpkin. You can like forget about it, and like then it rots, you know? Like, it feels like all these analogies are kind of like you. If someone treats you the right way, they can get a very sweet, very dessert-like aspect of you, you know? If they nurture you in the right way, you're so happy to give that back. But if they neglect you, like, there is something like that is rotten inside of them, and they will see that in the way that you interact with them, because it feels like you're very highly well regarded in whatever community you are. And if someone's like, if you're not treating someone right, like, not like if you're treating them in a way where like they don't like it, like, it's not because of you, it's because it's a reflection of them. And that's what a lot of people see, because people know you to be a really good person, to be someone who kind of like is very open-hearted and is really willing to help others. So if you sense something's off about a person, other people notice, and they're just like, oh, true, you know? And it's like, not to say that other person is like bad, it's just like that person just has some things about them that they need to just kind of be more self-aware on, and like they need to understand more. And it's just something that you kind of bring into fruition. You kind of mirror back the energy that other people have. Mm-hmm. Okay, and now I can get into something to work towards, like some like magical ability that would be fun to work towards. For you have card number 38, and that is my battery going again. One moment, apologies. My battery only has like a 15-20 minute limit, so yeah. You have card number 38, and then we're gonna get one more card for you. What is something that my pile number ones, my little pumpkins, can work towards? You also have card number 30 and card number 52, and I'll be reading out these descriptions for you in just one moment. Okay. Let's start with 38. Fire above the lake, there is no meaning. Fire rises towards heaven while the lake flows downwards into deepness. There is no common sphere in which they can meet. When people have fundamental differences that cannot be compromised, opposition is inevitable. Small things may be accomplished with care, but expect no success in any great endeavor as long as the players remain the same. Yeah, okay. So something you might want to work towards is recognizing that the rate of change for some people is much, much slower, if non-existent, and their stubbornness will continue. You won't convince someone of something you might be very passionate on if they hold values that are on the complete opposite ends of yours. And I think this is really saying, don't waste your efforts on those that don't want to listen. You can only lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink. And that's like real with a lot of people. You can tell them what they need to do and the guidance that would be best for them, but it's really up to them in whether or not they're going to take your advice or if they're just going to continue to behave the same and, die from stubbornness. You also have fire upon fire, feeding the inner flame. Wow, this is a lot of fire stuff. Fire will not burn on its own, but must cling to the fuel that feeds it. So too does the superior person seek fuel to feed the spiritual fire, lest it burned out from neglect. As the flame within grows brighter, it adds its light to the world and improves it. Clinging to what is true and right brings good fortune. Okay, so even though, don't let other people change your opinions on who you are. Really continue to do your spiritual practices. Continue to keep in the space that you have. And continue to fuel yourself in regards to giving back to yourself and caring for yourself. And I know that's so hard because sometimes we care so much because you're so involved with the community and other people around you. Even if if you don't see a lot of people and you're just in a relationship with another partner, then you still pour a lot of yourself regardless into that kind of relationship or the relationships around you. So just remember to give yourself some you time, watch your movies, take your walks, give yourself some breathing room, and hang out with animals, companionship that really nourishes you and gives you emotional support like you do to others. And it's if you neglect these aspects of yourself, if you forget to pour water into yourself, you won't be able to do that for other people. And I think you're a very sweet, caring, kind, and generous person. So what I can read of you, you have a beautiful heart and a beautiful soul. So and it is very generous and giving towards others. And if you want to continue to do that, you have to remember to pour into yourself and make sure that your cup is filled. Make sure that you're getting what you need. You're getting the nourishment that you need. And you're putting in the work in yourself. This is going to be an interesting example, but I have a really hard time meditating sometimes. I find that it's a lot of work on my body. on my spirit, on my soul, on my mind, because it's sometimes very boring. But with doing that more and more and being more consistent, I find that I'm able to really heal myself and really nurture myself, and in the long run feel better about taking care of myself. You know, I think taking care of yourself is something that's going to really help you come back into your body and really nourish yourself, because you are such a magical, nourishing being that you really do deserve to have that for yourself too. And then last but not least, you have a mountain range, the quietness of rest. And that's a perfect segue. Mountains close together enhance each other's stillness and stability. They form a sanctuary where the demands of the world can be set aside and all movement ceases. When one enters into such a spirit of stillness, restlessness disappears. The heart is soothed into quietness. The time of keeping still will be followed by a time of movement, but for now, this moment is all there is. All right, that is honestly kind of a continuation of what we were saying. Is just nourishing yourself, but also like being okay with where you are, being okay with the times that you are with people and enjoying those moments that you are with others, but also like being okay with the moments where you're alone, and appreciating where you are in the present is going to be a very fruitful, very nourishing, very whole kind of feeling. I think by appreciating the present moment, you're able to really enjoy life, you know, without having to plan things or like making a billion different scenarios up in your head or thinking about the past and stuff. By letting that go and just kind of fully being where you are, I think you'll appreciate the moments that you have with yourself and with others, and it will just kind of bring you a lot more fulfillment. And I think that's just, you know, a small thing that Divine Source wants you to be aware of, something that you can work on a little bit. I think you're doing a great job already. But yeah, I think it's just a little reminder, you know, just a little note to appreciate the present moment. So that is the reading I have for you today, my pile ones. That's your magical abilities. I was really not planning for this to be so long, but if you stuck with me throughout the whole thing, good on you. Maybe comment down this cute little pumpkin emoji or something so that I know. And if you don't want to, and if you kind of just want to be more of like a silent watcher like I am, you can just like the video. And if you don't want to do anything at all, that's totally cool. It's whatever you feel like. You know, do what you will, but it would help me kind of know what kind of videos that you might want to see more, if you want to see more of me. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me, my little pumpkins, my little bundles of joy. You've been so beautiful to read for, and I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity to read for you. So with that, I'll leave you here, and I hope you have a magical rest of your day. Take care. Bye. Hello, my pile twos. If you've chosen the wand, it's just a pencil crayon, but symbolizes the wand, then this is your reading. So these cards are gonna show you the present energies that you are in right now, just to see whether or not this is your reading. And then we're gonna get into the general magical abilities you have, and the strongest abilities, and then also some things to work towards. So let's begin. You have the, wow, okay. You have the 10 of Wands to start off in reverse. I kind of love that for you. You also have the 8 of, let me double check what suit this is, because I always get confused. I believe it's the Pentacles. Okay, yeah. So you have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, and then you also have the Sun in reverse. Very interesting. But they all definitely feel like they're resonating, or they all have a similar kind of motif about them. So with the 10 of Wands in reverse, it feels like you've kind of you've stopped really like putting a huge burden on yourself. I think there was quite a bit of time where you were carrying a huge load, and you just needed some time to just like, you were feeling kind of overwhelmed. You're feeling kind of like there was a lot of weight on your shoulders, so you kind of put something to the wayside, just to kind of keep yourself in a better mental health state. I'm kind of thinking of like how Chapel Rowan right now has canceled some of her shows so that she can focus on her mental health, because she's going through quite a lot to deal with her rise to stardom. So I feel like there's something in your life that you've wanted and you've worked really hard towards, because the 8 of Pentacles is also here alongside the 10 of Wands, and those two cards in conjunction are about a lot of hard work, to the point of like exhaustion. Like, you really put in the time in, and because they're in reverse right now, it feels like you've let that go. You've kind of let part of your work, part of your purpose, part of your career, because the Pentacles signifies more work, day-to-day stuff, as well as the Wands symbolize more of like a life purpose aspect. So like, it feels like you kind of like let it go for a moment, and because of that, there's delays in your accolades, because with the Sun in reverse, it means that there's always, the Sun coming in is a beautiful card to come in, because it's because the Sun is always a wonderful aspect of something good coming in, of like rewards of being more like certain accolades coming up, you know, like it is about fruition and of joy and of celebration in some cards. And like, again, it's about like also about radiance, because it is the Sun. It does radiate. But with it in reverse, it can always signify delays in those more sunny times, being a little bit more paused at the moment. It feels like with this Sun in reverse, you might also need to reach out to others at this point in time just to kind of get more support, whether that be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual support on your end, because you've been going through a lot, because you've been working really hard, and now to the point of exhaustion, and now you're just at a stage where you kind of need to like put in those boundaries, you know? So it feels like this pile is in a point of rest, is in a point of kind of just taking care of themselves, which is really great to hear. But I think there's also like a part of you that kind of feels a little bad for doing it. Like you kind of feel like a little bad for it kind of feels like you feel like you're dropping the ball, but you're not. I'm here to say that you're not dropping the ball. It feels like you might be a little bit unsatisfied. But it will come to an end. This cycle will come to an end, and taking that time for yourself, I think, is a really good call that you did. I think you're just kind of trying to reinvigorate yourself and find passion, and find something to really encourage you and motivate you to keep going without having this 10 of Wands burden, without overdoing it. I think you're trying to find the balance between work and play, and making sure that you're taken care of so that you can also do what you love and take care of others, you know? So yeah, if that sounds like you right now, if you're more taking downtime for yourself, which we love to hear, we love a self-care deity, king, queen, or non-binary deity who's, you know, just kind of recognizing where they're at and being self-aware in regards to taking the time they need, but is a little bit more frustrated, a little bit more disappointed in what's going on, because they know if they work a little harder, their accolades will come to fruition. Well, then this is your reading. Okay, so let's look at, that's so interesting too, because you picked the wand too. You picked the magical instrument that helps guide magic, that helps transfer and control and focus magical energies into fruition, you know? Like a part of manifestation is being able, and a part of the Kabbalah, the different tree of life aspects, is making sure that you can kind of bring in divine source and shoot it out through into the physical. And I think there's just been so much of that happening. It's been so overwhelming that you might have gotten to a place where like your wand has short-circuited. Like the tip of this wand is broken. It just like when I came up into the room, like I accidentally dropped the wand and it, like the tip kind of like broke. But great thing about wood and wands is that you can always sharpen it, always reshape it, always get it back to a more pristine state if that's what you want. And I think that's really symbolic in regards to what you're feeling right now and what you're going through right now. Just know that it's okay to like take this time of rest, take this time of self-care. It's really interesting. I'm actually going to pull out self-care cards for you before we get into the reading. So for my pile twos, what kind of self-care would be beneficial for them at this time? What kind of self-care would be beneficial for my pile twos at this time? You have dream journal. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping well? Are there some crazy dreams that are coming up? For me, there is. So it's always kind of exhausting waking up from like a nightmare or like a really like intense dream, and then you're like, oh fuck, yeah, I'm in the real world again. So maybe keeping a dream journal and writing it out might help, like, excuse me, it's also a message for me, to really help you like kind of like dispel and kind of like flush away a lot of the things that you go through in the nighttime while you're sleeping. I think this is a pile that really, like, when they dream, they don't just dream about like day-to-day things. I feel like you're a pile that is quite Piscean in the way that you are otherworldly, that you go into different realms while you dream, or you flush out a lot of your past lives or the past things that have happened to you, maybe even in your childhood, that you need healing, and now you're in a safe space to heal. I think that's what you do quite a bit. I'm actually going to put this on like this. And so keeping a dream journal might just be very beneficial for you to just kind of like word vomit all that's happened, so you don't have to like think about it too much. Okay. Oh, wow, there's quite a lot. Sure, we'll take all of them. Why not? A lot of self-care things that you can do at this moment in time. My pile number 2's my wand pile. You can go take a walk if you so feel called to. That might help you clear your head, clear your mind, clear your heart. Just get the legs moving a little bit. You also have dance, and in the same capacity, you know, again, just getting yourself up and moving, getting your body flowing a little bit, just kind of releasing some stagnant energy that you have going on, I think is going to be really helpful. You also have write a gratitude list, and I think that's going to be great for you to kind of keep your spirits high, to keep your mental health in check in regards to just noticing where you're at and how far you've come. Especially, I think it'd be great for you right now to just kind of recognize how much you have worked and how hard you have worked, and like where you're at in this space is probably so much different than you were a year ago, and you did that. You're the one that made that possible, and just taking some time to just be grateful for that, I think will be really beneficial for you right now. As well as use your intuition, you know, again, never let a tarot reader or a tarot reading decide your fate and the actions that you do. Always make sure that it comes from a place of your own intuition, of your own inner knowing, your own self-knowledge. But if any of these things feel like they resonate, or if they call out to you, I think it's just a little message from divine source, spirit, your God, deities, whatever you like to associate with, to just kind of give you that nudge, give you that little push forward to be like, yeah, this would be great. This would be great for you right now. Anything intuitively that you feel called to as well. Maybe you feel like taking a bath or meditating, or just getting something like just something special for yourself. Whatever you feel called to, I think will help you at this moment of time, just to kind of give yourself some self-care, and kind of like, yeah, just kind of like give yourself some love back. Because this does feel like a time where you might be putting a lot of pressure on yourself to continue and push forward, but I do believe that you're making the right call by like making sure that you're resting and you're taking care of your mental health, because again, all of these things are interconnected. Like your spiritual health is interconnected with your emotional health, which is interconnected with your mental health, which is interconnected with your physical health, and they're all kind of living within you. So taking care of one of them will help you take care of all of them, kind of kind of deal, you know? Dancing physically will really help you like release a lot of stagnant emotions. And if you don't like to dance, then you can take a walk and ground yourself and get all of those emotional stagnancy out of your body. Writing a gratitude list will be, again, great for your mental health and making sure that you feel it's like kind of like a check that, yeah, you did this, and this is like a great time for you to like recognize that you should be grateful for all the work that you've already put in, and like giving yourself the rest because you deserve it. Okay. So moving forward in regards to what your magical abilities are, let's get the general kind of magical abilities. There's this really small fly that's kind of bugging me. Sorry. If you see me go like this, it's just because I'm just shooing away that small fly. Okay, for my pile number 2s, my wand pile, what is their general magical ability? And the King of Wands popped out. I'm not even surprised. This does definitely feel like a manifestation heavy kind of pile. I'm thinking of my one of my close friends who lives out in Victoria. She like manifests a great career path for herself. Like it's just something easy for her to do. So I feel like you're like that too. With the 7 of Cups coming out right after, I feel like you do have a lot of choices when it comes to your manifestation. You have a lot of different things, a lot of options for you that you can decide upon in regards to that. You have the 9 of Cups in reverse. So with that, it feels like, again, you might be feeling a little bit more underwhelmed. It might feel like your cup's a little drained. It might feel like you're just going through a lot and you just need to like fill back your cup. So yeah. You have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, which in the regular Rider-Waite, usually the 5 of Pentacles would be a signifier of like hardship. Reversed would be a signifier of like good things to come. So I'm gonna take that because it popped out. But I also feel like with this particular cat tarot deck, whenever I see it, I always think of love, and I also think of companionship because of it. In upright position, the 5 of Pentacles looks like 2 cute little cats like kissing or about to kiss and like sharing their food. So with this, I think it just means more of like of taking some time to yourself and like going inwards and balancing yourself more than anything else right now. Okay, I'm not gonna take those because I just want one card, and yeah, so if I can get another general magical ability for, oh, there's 2 cards again, but okay, I guess we'll take it. You have the Queen of Swords as well as the 3 of Pentacles. So let's move everything just a little bit. Boop. Boop. And now let's put the story into place. Okay. With your general magical abilities, I definitely feel like you manifest really well. You manifest opportunities to yourself really well. You manifest a lot of great kind of options for yourself. And with that, sometimes it can bring a little bit of like a little bit of stress. you know, like the like when you're like overloaded with choices, and like sometimes you'll like ask someone, oh, what do you want for dinner? And they're like, I don't know, what do you want for dinner? And like you're just kind of in this like circle of trying to like pick out what you want. I think that sometimes with your manifestation abilities, because it like comes with so much opportunities, it can overwhelm you at times. And just to note that like sometimes what you need is to recharge and rebalance and kind of center yourself so that you can move ahead and decide in a more calm and a more demure and a more almost regal kind of headspace. And when I say that, I mean like when you think of royalty, you think of the amount of what they're responsible for, not just the fact that they do own a lot and they do have a lot of wealth, but you also have to think of how much they do have to be responsible for within the kingdom. You know, not only are they responsible for their family, but they're responsible for like everybody within the kingdom and all that governs the kingdom, all the economics of the kingdom, all the social securities that the kingdom must provide. You know, it's all the environmental aspects that the kingdom must face as well. It's a lot of different aspects, one family really has to be in charge of. Of course, there's like other people delegated to help that cause, but in the end, the decision making of what's going on relies on the royal family. So like, it feels like with you that you have a very like regal, very royal kind of aspect to yourself, where when you manifest like so many opportunities for yourself that you like sometimes you get befuddled, but then other times you're able to really like center yourself and then move forward with your decision and come to this place of being very decisive, of being able to like hit the mark of what you need. So I think your general abilities really relies on yourself. It is a very like inward, very like introspective ability, because if you start to think about like the options and what other people tell you too much, you're going to get into a space of befuddlement. You're going to be very clouded and very confused with what you should do next, because there's so much other energies that are on you. So I think what's best is for you to really center yourself and give yourself the time and space you need, which is what you're doing right now and what I've been saying earlier in your present energies, for you to move forward, for you to really decide what's right, not only for you, but for the rest of whoever is in your life or whatever you're dealing with, so that you can come to this very logical, very immaculate, very kind of balanced and poised decision. This Queen of Swords is everything. This Queen of Swords reminds me of, I don't know if you watch D&D, but there's this channel called on Dropout TV, which is like the child of College Humor, where there's this show called like what is it called again? It's like A Crown of Candy, and it's basically like parodying the Game of Thrones. And in that like D&D episodes, there's this queen character where she's the one calling the shots. She's the one making sure that the kingdom's running smoothly. She's the one making sure that her daughters are going to class and that the kingdom is at peace. Like she's the one making sure that the king is doing his job properly and not just like being a warrior somewhere, like I think you have such a very powerful mind space that really affords you the opportunity to really see clearly what's going on around you, as long as you keep to your own headspace, as long as you keep to your own bubble, because I'm seeing someone meditating. So as long as you keep being very introverted, very meticulous on your own kind of time, on your own little like space to rest for yourself, I think you are the best person for the job to really make sure that everything in what's going on in your life is going smoothly. So you might have a very high position of power. You might be in a managerial state. You might be a CEO. You might be a boss. You might be the head of the house. You might just be in a superior position of power where you are the one calling the shots. And I think with a lot, and you're using a lot of mental power, because I'm saying I think a lot. I'm not saying I feel, I'm saying I think. So you're using a lot of mental power to guide you and help you make decisions that will not only benefit yourself, but the people around you. And I think, again, that you do it in such a way where you use your powers, your manifestation powers, for good. You use your powers in order to help the collective, to help your community, to help your family, your friends, your loved ones, your coworkers, whatever you use this power in, you yield it so that it is very much in a place of regality. It's in a place of being a noble, of taking care of others, of taking care of yourself too. And I think like this is a general part of your magical abilities, because in one sense, because you have so much power, I do think some people try to kind of like get in the way of that. I think some people try to input their opinions onto you and can like try to infiltrate your decision making for their own benefit. So I think that's something that you are aware of, and that's why you are taking some time for yourself right now. But I also am relaying the message from Divine Spirit, from Source, that not everyone's gonna have your mindset of being community oriented. So just to keep in mind that your way of being, your way of loving others, your way of being compassionate towards others is why you are in the position that you are, is why you are in a position of leadership, is why you can wield and control so much power. And I'm getting really emotional about this, so I feel like this is something you really do need to hear. It's that other people might put their opinions on you, but it's not because they're thinking about others. They're thinking about themselves and what they need. And I think sometimes they can manipulate you into thinking that the power you hold is destructive and is not fair. But really, your heart and soul knows that the decisions that you make are carefully chosen to not just benefit you, but to benefit the whole community, the whole collective, the friends, family, workplace at large. One moment, my camera just died. 1 second. And that might be a little hard to hear because, like, I think that's also kind of relieving for you to hear. I think it's difficult because I feel like some people try to gaslight you into thinking that, like, into thinking that, like, you're a bad person, but you're not. Like, you're really someone who takes the time, who takes the energy to get to know what's best for everybody. Yeah, it's like you're like the captain of a ship. Like, you have like a lot of different working parts that you have to make sure like are running smoothly in order for everyone to get to the destination that they need to. Woo. And I love that for you. I think that's absolutely something that's been on your minds. You know, like, it's not selfish for you to sleep and rest and take this moment. Just kind of like Chapel Rowan, it's not selfish of her to like pull back from the concerts that she was supposed to be in if it's so that she can really like prioritize her own well-being and prioritize it so that she can come back to her position in a better state, you know. Like, she's been under a lot of heat for some of the statements that she's made in the past, and like some people won't understand her, but she comes from a place of well-researched, well-known aspects, you know, and she does it from a place where she's trying to look out for the benefit of the community. She's really understanding that, like, not everyone's gonna be happy with her. And, like, honestly, like, you can't please everybody. But if you do what's best for yourself and others in the best way you can, that's all anyone can really ask of you. And if they're asking more, well, they can honestly just shove it. They can honestly just, like, they're not people whose opinion should matter to you because they don't know what it's like to be in that position of power. And there's a reason why they don't know what it's like. It's because they are probably projecting their own needs and wants, own selfishness onto you, trying to make it so that they have that position of power. And like, you know, like, they don't actually know what it's like to be in your position, to be in your shoes. They're not empathizing, and they're not looking at it in a way where it is rational. Yeah, so like honestly, I'm getting really defensive over you because I think you're such a beautiful, caring, loving being, and I think, you know, like, we need more of you in positions of power. So I'm really happy to hear that you are in a position of power and that you are like really setting your firm boundaries and taking your power back, especially because a lot of the times people in those positions can really suffer the consequences of people pleasing. Look at Britney Spears. Look at Justin Bieber. Look at I don't know why it's so many celebrities that are coming up, but maybe you're very influential in that aspect. But like, yeah, if you look at those people, look at like P. Diddy right now. Like, geez, like, when you don't have the heart, the love, the space to really like take care of yourself, there are health consequences, there are legal consequences, there are consequences, period. And so I really do believe that you're making the right decision to pull your energy back right now and take care of yourself right now, because you do wield this really magical ability to manifest and bring things into fruition. And, you know, like, that's not an easy feat. That's what a lot of manifestation is about, is being able to think of something or to pull something from the divine and to really put that self like that out there into the physical world, you know? You are this king. You really can have a wonderful time manifesting things, but with that comes a lot of responsibilities, and with that also comes a lot of decision making. And I think you do it from this Queen of Swords energy, from this space of really like using your head and your heart, you know? So you do it for what's best for others. But yeah, just remember, with your magical ability, your general magical ability, there lies a space for you to really come back into your own and come back into yourself. That's how you can really like strengthen that side of your general self, and your general powers. And to just kind of like trust yourself. To trust yourself. Okay, let's get into your strongest magical abilities. So you have Vanishing Mirror, Ego Sublimation. Fuck yeah. You also have Gathering Around, the Power of Community. And you also have Will-o'-the-Wisp, Treasures Hidden in the Shadows. And I love this for you. I do honestly believe you are in positions of power that really highlight your manifesting abilities. With this Vanishing Mirror, Ego Sublimation, I think you're the strongest power that you have, the strongest magical ability that you really do reside in, is being able to shatter not only others' egos, but really to kind of go beyond your own. It feels like when you do make decisions, you do it in a space where you are seeing like a greater perspective of the community. And that really ties in with this Gathering Around, the Power of Community card. It really does feel like you're not someone who is self-serving in this aspect of you're only looking out for your own needs, your own wants. You're like serving the community when you make these decisions. And this Vanishing Mirror here is here to kind of clarify and validate that what you're doing is like something that comes from beyond, that comes from a place of greater perspective, of looking at the whole, other than just the parts of everything. You look at, you definitely do look at the different parts of what's going on, but you recognize the whole of what's going on, and you're able to make decisions off of that. Will-o'-the-Wisp, Treasures Hidden in the Shadows. I definitely do feel like you continue to very much transform, and you kind of make you have the Midas touch, you have the touch of gold. So you have this kind of scorpionic energy of transforming what happens in your life, anything like more uncomfortable, a little bit deeper, a little bit more frustrating, into something that is like something that's more conflicting. You change that perspective into a challenge. You give yourself this space to look at the conflict and be like, oh, okay, perfect. this conflict gives me direction forward into knowing what's right and what decisions I have to make and what I can do next. This conflict provides me a space of knowledge and information so that I can move forward and then create something so great because of it. It's so funny. Okay, so I'm thinking of Minecraft right now. So like, there's different modes you can play on Minecraft. You can play peaceful, you can play regular, or you can play hardcore. And I very much love the peacefulness of it, but I never play peaceful because if I do, then that means I'm like not able to really source different resources from the mobs that come, you know, like in the game, if you like kill spiders or if you kill endermen or if you kill like creepers, you get loot from it, you know. From spiders you get string, from endermans you get ender eyes, and then from creepers you get gunpowder. And all those three resources can be used to make other things that are very helpful. Like, for example, the string can be used to make a bow and arrow or a candle. The ender pearls help you get ender eyes so that you can defeat the game. The gunpowder can be used for rockets later on when you have an elytra. So like there are different resources that happen and can be obtained by going through the more like difficult aspects of having to kill these mobs. And I think that is like how you also have strength in your magical abilities. I feel like if you're going through hardship, let's say like at work, like you're a boss to this company that like sells gemstones, let's say. And then like you get customer complaints being like, oh, my gems didn't come on time, my gems are cracked, like and then you look at the different shipping options that you have. With that problem, with that conflict, you automatically research like, is there a better shipping courier that we can use? Can we package it better? What can we do better in regards to making sure that the deliveries come to our customers more securely? So you really use the problems of that day to really create solutions so that your company overall is better and delivers better and is more in line with what you want it to be, of the quality you want it to be, you know? It's kind of like that. On a more personal level, I feel like if you're going through a hard time, like say you're going through, I'm going to use myself as an example. Say you're going through a really hard tropical steroid withdrawal or a really hard eczema like state on your body. You use that kind of hardship and you use that as a direction for your life purpose. You use that to be like, oh, because I can't find any creams to help this, I'm going to make my own, or I'm going to research on why this happens, and that will be my like purpose so that I can see if I can heal other people, you know? Like, it's kind of like that. Like, if you're going through something like, oh, I don't know this about myself, like let's say you have like ADHD, like you like, if you have ADHD, then you kind of like reset and reframe your mind, so it's that like it's not something that hinders you, but something that can give you greater superpowers. For example, like you know that because of your ADHD, you're able to really focus in and be really attuned to something much longer and with much more fruitfulness than the average person. Because of your ADHD, you know that you're able to really maintain this focus. Stuff like that. Or say that you have anxiety, like you use that anxiety to recognize, because you have anxieties, you're more likely to be aware of the things around you, and in that case, be more careful with the decisions you make, be more attuned to the environment around you, so that when you move forward in decision making, you can do it in a way that's safest and the best possible outcome for everybody. Yeah, so that is your superpower. I feel like you do wield a lot of manifestation powers within yourself, but because of that, your strongest magical ability is actually using it for the community and really like taking yourself out of a space of your own and making sure that it is beneficial for everyone around you. But you also do that in a way where you transform a lot of the quote unquote negative things into resourceful things for yourself and for others. Okay, now we're gonna look at some things that are things that you can work towards, because nobody's perfect and you gotta work it again and again till you get it right. I'm just kidding. That is a Hannah Montana reference, if you so know. But yeah, let's look at something that my pile number 2 is my wand magical pile can work towards. Your first card is card number 58. I swear to God, pile 1 got that card too. But you also have the cards of 17. I'll put it like this. And 43. And we're just going to read the description of those cards and see where you can work towards. So something that you can work towards in regards of your magical abilities. Let's start with 58. All right. The beauty of a lake fills the heart with delight. A series of lakes expands delight into joy. Even the greatest sorrows hold the promise of returning joy, just as joy always contains a drop of sorrow. Joyousness is spread to others through words and deeds, as lakes spill over into each other. This is not giddy happiness, but rather the knowledge that beauty and love are the truth that survive within the human heart. Yeah, I think just being a bit kind to yourself, and I think like letting go of people-pleasing tendencies is going to be very helpful for you, and something that you can work towards. Just kind of like honoring yourself, honoring the decisions you make, and knowing that you're doing it in a space that brings contentment, that is in a hard space for the good of all. And not like bending to the needs of other people because they say so. Yeah, just like, yeah, continue to be in your boss energy, in this energy of nobility, of this energy of kindness and giving and compassion and generosity, and knowing that understandably it's so easy to fall into people-pleasing tendencies because again, because of that noble sense of wanting to care for others, just recognizing and having that good head on your shoulders to know that like it's okay to take some time for yourself. It's okay to say no. It's okay to know that sometimes tough love is needed, especially sometimes, like, for example, like if you have a child and the child's just like really wanting like McDonald's consistently, you're not going to feed that child McDonald's consistently because that's what they want. You're gonna know to be like, hey, like, I know you want this, but you know what's really great to have right now? Some mac and cheese and broccoli. You know, like, you're gonna balance it out with things that they do like to eat with things that you know are good for them, you know. Maybe you'll have like a Caesar salad with like chicken nuggets so that they actually eat it, you know, like things like that. Like you're gonna make sure that you're doing something that's good for them, but they still enjoy without giving into like the bad habits that kid wants, you know. So you can still really care for the community in that way without having to adhere to some of the more unwise decisions that a community member, a family, a friend, a coworker can sometimes make. And using your judgment call on that, I think, is going to be very fruitful for you. You also have card number 17, Thunder in the Middle of the Lake, action suspended. People who are coerced into cooperation will ultimately resist. To obtain enthusiastic followers, one must adapt to the prevailing needs of the time. Act thoughtfully and in proper context. Success is likely if one's actions are worthy, but a following should not be expected until those conditions are met. And I think that's such a great segue into card number 58, into 17. It's because you are in this position of power. You are someone who has that following, but like to maintain that following is to remember that you have to act thoughtfully and in a wise, proper context. It's like people will respect you more if you give them what they need and not what they want, you know? Like, a child will respect their parents more knowing that like their parents are doing what they do in their best interest, you know, because they want a healthy child. Going back to the whole food thing, because they want a healthy child, they know that like feeding them vegetables in their meal will help them grow to appreciate the nutritional value that it holds. Same with the leader, you know. You don't want a leader that just conforms to the will of its followers. You want a leader that knows how to properly like make decisions that's best for its followers, you know. Just because the followers, let's go back to Chapel Rowan, just because the followers are upset over her like backing out of the concerts doesn't mean that she should try to push herself into these public spaces where she doesn't feel safe, you know, like so like, you know, like making that judgment call is going to be very, very helpful for you. Making sure that you are being in your own space, like we've been saying this whole reading, is going to be very beneficial for not only others but for yourself. And then last but not least, we have card number 43. The lake rises to heaven, evil gives way to good. A lake rising into the sky creates an unnatural imbalance that cannot hold. The weight of water hanging overhead is oppressive and threatening. So it is when inferior and evil people rise to exalted positions of power. A breakthrough is inevitable, bringing them crashing down from the high places. The good will always naturally rise again through the creative will of heaven. Oh, and I love how like these three like cards still are very much talking about positions of power, because something that you need to work towards in regards to your magical abilities is that like knowing that you are a good leader. You are someone who has a good position, a good heart, a compassionate soul to care for others. And like when inferior and evil people rise to positions of power, like they will crash down. Again, look at P. Diddy, look at like Justin Bieber, look at like Britney Spears. Like they all had moments. I'm not saying they're evil, but they like they all had moments where like they had their crashing down aspect because they either worked too hard, they engaged with the wrong people, or they were doing things that were very, in P. Diddy's case, very evil, like, domestic abuse and violence amongst multiple people, and hosting very highly how do I say this? Like being in traffic. That's like the code word for it. But like hosting parties where people would be in traffic for a long time. Like that's not something that helps others. It actively harms other people. And I think that if people come for your position, if they try to come for your leadership, they won't do a good job as you, because you're that person who probably A, didn't even want leadership to come into position, but B, you're the best for the job. You're the best person to be in this position because you hold and wield a power that is very strong, that is very much needed, that very much is favored for this position, for this power. You hold this regality that is very mindful, that is very loving, that is compassionate. And whenever people with nefarious intent, whenever there are people who aren't as good as you try to come into those positions, they will inevitably fail. They'll just recognize, oh yeah, like you are suited for this position. And like in Chapel Rowan's case, people who really understand what she's going through are going to appreciate the fact that she's taking time for herself. And the fans who like just want to see her perform because they bought tickets and they bought like expensive train tickets, or they bought hotels, like they're doing it out of a selfish reason. They're not actually caring about the performer themselves. They're only caring about like what the performer can provide for them, and so what Chapel Rowan can provide for them. So like that's not really good. That's quite selfish. Like, so, like, I think the people who get your position will not hold it against you for taking this rest that's needed, for taking the time for you that's needed right now, because they understand that, like, with great power comes great responsibility, not only for the people, but for yourself. And I think wielding such a crazy powerful manifesting wand will come with a lot of downtime, with a lot of need to care and rest, and make sure that you're giving yourself the love and necessary care that you need in order to continue to do what you need to do. Yeah. So that was a long one. If you stuck around for this length of video and you enjoyed the reading, please comment down below an emoji of like the little spark, like the little like star like emoji, or like the video, or subscribe, whatever you want to do. You have the power to do that. Like it just helps me know that that you like these videos and you enjoy the longer kind of readings. But yeah, I'm so very proud of where you're at right now, pile twos, my wand pile. You have such a strength and crazy royal nobility to you, and position of power, and you do it in such a kind, soft, caring way that really is compassionate and community oriented, and we need people like that. We need you in those positions of power. So continue to take care and to rest and to make sure that you're filling up your own cup, because when you do, you're not only taking care of yourself, but you're taking care of the community. And so yeah, with that, I hope you have a wonderful, magical day of rest and reparations and of self-care ahead of you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, pile 3. If you've chosen this amethyst, this smooth stone amethyst, and this is your pile. So today's reading, we're going to talk about what are your magical abilities. These cards are gonna indicate what your present energies are, and then we're gonna go into your general magical abilities, and then we're gonna go what your strongest magical ability is, and then what something to work towards. Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. You have the 6 of Cups as your main card for your present energies. And you have the Knight of Wands, and then the Queen of Pentacles as your clarifiers. Okay. So this present energies are just going to indicate whether or not this is your reading. If not, you can always choose another pile, or it just might not be your reading today, and that's okay. So with these cards, it feels like you're currently trying to balance work and play quite a bit. With this 6 of Cups being your main energy card, as you see, there's two cute little kitties. Well, actually, one's a kitty cat, and then one's more of an adult cat. It kind of symbolizes, or what I'm picking up on is more of like being able to learn, grow, and mature within a space, and kind of learning from your elders, learning from the people who might have more experience than you, but also making sure that there is a funness to it. There is like this more playfulness to it, because if you can see this little kitty, all the kibbles just like around the bowl and the kitty's not eating it. And that being clarified by these 2 cards of playtime with the Knight of Wands, as well as this little maze with the Queen of Pentacles. It feels kind of like there's a lot of like playfulness going on, and it's playfulness in the sense of being able to mentally work out what you need to be doing at this time, but still keeping it like kind of light, kind of fun, kind of jovial. And with this other kitty cat who's eating, it does feel like there are other people who are trying to guide you, who are trying to help you when it comes to what's going on in your life. Yeah. So with the Six of Cups in this deck, it usually symbolizes youthful kitten-like innocence is at the front of center in your life, and like happy childhood memories are abound. It symbolizes you reconnecting with your inner kitten or actual kittens, but good things from the past are coming up for you. You know, it's quite heavily trying to present this very youthful, very reinvigorated kind of spirit that's really coming up with these cards. So if you're feeling like you're kind of like being reborn, maybe you've had a spiritual awakening, maybe you've just kind of found something that makes you feel like a kid again. Maybe you like are making food and dishes that are something that your parents or your caregivers used to make you, or you're watching TV shows that are really reminiscent of your past, just doing very nostalgic things at the moment. Might be very very much where you're at. And it feels kind of impulsive with this Knight of Wands here. It kind of feels like you're doing this because you just kind of felt like an inner calling to like reconnect with this past you. It feels like you really wanted to just finally like have the joy of just feeling like a kid again and not feeling like there's so much burden on your shoulders. But you're doing it still in a very diligent way, in a very intelligent way with this Queen of Cups here. Like, you're still making time to make sure your bills are paid, make sure that like the people in your life are taken care of, make sure you have food on the table, stuff like that. But you're reminding yourself that it's okay to have you time, and it's okay to enjoy your life, and it's okay to just, you know, be and exist and reinvigorate your soul that way. So if that sounds like you, then this is your reading, and let's get into the question of what your general magical abilities are. All right, you have Ace of Cups in reverse, you have the Three of Pentacles upright, oops, you have the King of Swords upright, you have the King of Wands upright, and then you have the Six of Wands in reverse. Okay, cool. So with your magical abilities, your general magical abilities, it feels like you know how to move things forward. That's the thing that's first popping up, is that you know how to continue to discipline yourself into a space where you can continuously do something that you need to, so you get the end results. And I feel like you are very protected, because for the last two groups, like, channeling was really easy and it was really flowy. But with this group, I feel like there is more like a protective bubble. There is more of a space of me having to kind of stop and think and then execute my words properly. So I feel like with you, part of your magical ability is to really have that, have that space, that time to really think about your actions and then execute it the way that you need to. With this Ace of Cups in reverse, it does feel like you're someone who can really look inwards, who can really look at their insecurities and their doubts and kind of put in your boundaries when it comes to other people, or you're learning how to put in your boundaries with other people. Part of your magical abilities is that you have this greater knowing of being able to tell the emotional space with you and another person, whether or not like you should give more space or if you should be closer to them. Especially when it comes to love, it feels like you're someone who's really nurturing and knowledgeable when it comes to emotional intelligence, and you're someone who like can read their partner really well. People recognize that you have that like inner sense of being emotionally intelligent. One moment, I just need to change my battery. Oh yeah, sorry about that, just had to change my battery for a quick sec. As I was saying, with those Three of Pentacles here, it definitely makes other people notice the kind of emotional intelligence that you have. But it's a very balanced kind of magical energy that you possess, because it's not just you being able to read others' emotions and set boundaries and fulfill relationship needs. It's also being very diplomatic and playful with how you go about what you need. There's another message coming through for your magical abilities of, with this Ace of Cups in reverse, being able to convert heartbreak into joy, which is really interesting. I feel like you're someone who might be a creative and use that heartbreak to fuel your creative endeavors. Like you might paint something or write something or just generally create something that really is aligned with your emotions. And when you put your work out there, other people can really connect to it and really find solace in it and really find themselves being heard through it. And it just feels like one of your magical abilities is being able to really push through with a lot of the emotions that you do have. I think you really do have a good head on your shoulders when it comes to not wallowing in heartbreak, but using that as momentum to kind of fuel whatever you really need at the time. And you do it so masterfully. With two kings here, with the King of Swords and the King of Wands, it definitely feels like you have a really good sense of being able to choose your words right, or choose the way you express yourself in a very transformative way. Like with the butterflies being here in the King of Swords, I think when you do express yourself, it is in a very respected way where people really admire how mindful you are in regards to letting yourself be heard. It's not like you're shouting to the rooftops for people to notice you. It's not like you're attention seeking. It almost feels as if you just have to speak to be heard. Like people really do want to hear from you. People really want to know what's going on in your life, and people really want to know like the intel of why you created what you created. For example, like what's coming up in my mind is Sabrina Carpenter's new album, Short and Sweet, and how like the whole internet was kind of like speculating that album was based off of this love triangle between her, Camila Cabello, and Shawn Mendes. And it's kind of like that. It feels like there's like this whole group of people or this whole community that like looks at whatever work you do and kind of likes to speculate and like put their little like 2 cents into what their lives, like what your life is. And it feels kind of like you do have that really big influence over others, and you have this very like wanted presence around you. And it's because I feel like you still carry a very youthful, a very joyous, a very playful energy. With this King of Wands coming in right afterwards, it feels like you've mastered when the appropriate time is to really like have fun and really show yourself and really be a little bit more playful with a little bit more cheeky even with other people. Like, again, I'm thinking of Sabrina Carpenter, when she's known for having outros to one of her songs be very cheeky, very witty, quite sexy, you know? Like, it's a very, like, playful, very fun, kind of short little outro that she does to her song Nonsense. I love that song so much. But yeah, like, and I think that you kind of give off that same energy where it's like you're able to really kind of like tap into yourself and really highlight aspects of you that are fun, and people really like to see that. People really like to interact with that and enjoy that kind of space with you. Mm-hmm. It feels like with the Six of Wands in reverse over here, it feels like sometimes you might feel a little conscious on what you're doing. Sometimes you feel like you take on too much. But I also kind of feel like it's more of the sense of you knowing when to kind of pull back your energy too. Part of your magical ability is your general magical ability is to be able to really pull back your energy and not let anyone really know what your private life is. Like, again, I feel like this group really exudes Sabrina Carpenter vibes, like, which I love because like one of my last groups really exuded Chapel Rowan vibes. So I'm really happy to pick up on that. But yeah, with you, beautiful souls, it really does feel like with this Six of Wands in reverse, you know how to pull back your energy, and you know when to kind of disappear from the crowd, and you know when to not like say your private life too much. I think you are really well media trained, and by that I mean like if you look at interviews that Sabrina Carpenter does, because she was trained by Disney, and overall her own really like good sense of communication styles, she has this ability to kind of either divert the question if she doesn't want to answer it, or she does it in a way where it just naturally flows into something else, or she'll answer it in a more vague kind of term, so that like she doesn't have to get really deep into it and people don't have to know what it really is about, and what her private life is about. And like there's this really great boundary that's set. And that's how it feels like with you as well. It feels like you have a good boundary set. Like you're willing to let people in, but there's like there's a space. Like there's like a time to be held back. There's like this protection bubble that like you're not doing it in a way where it's like off-putting. You're doing it in a way where it's like, oh no, this is just my time. This is like I just want to keep things private for me. I like it's a very respected kind of like manner that you come across in. So generally, your magical ability is to be very very aware of your own emotions, and as well as the emotions of others, but being able to use that in order to elevate your creative endeavors, and as well as use that so that you can masterfully communicate and kind of create things that are very you. And it's in a way where, again, like you do have this big protection around you. Like that's something that's really highlighted with this group. I think that this group, my dear pile number 3s, you amethyst babies, are really well grounded and really also really well connected with divine source, spirit, God, goddesses, deities, whatever you resonate with. I feel like there's a strong connection you have to that, so that there is not only you who's protecting your bubble, but like there's this whole team that is helping make sure that your space is your space and it's not getting crossed in any way. Especially with this amethyst that brings peace and calmness and promotes intuition and creativity. I feel like you just have a very balanced kind of lifestyle, or you know how to balance it in a way where you're not taking on too much, you're not stressing yourself out too much, but you're making sure that you're like in a space where you do your work and you get results, but you still have time off where you can enjoy your life and enjoy yourself. And I think that is quite a magical ability, especially in this day and age, to be able to have that balance, to be able to have that creative power, to be able to have that protection as well. Because a lot of the times I find that people can overwork themselves, especially in a position like yours, where they need to create, and there's a competitive edge to that. But I feel like you know that your just desserts are coming when they need to come, you know, like with Chapel Roan and Sabrina Carpenter, both of them had like 10 years of putting in the hard work before they blew up, you know. Sabrina had like 5 different albums before with one of her labels, and then she did emails I can't send, and then she did short and sweet, where she really blew off. Like, you know, she had 10 whole like years where she really developed her craft, and she really put what she wanted out there, and she really continued to work on it, but she didn't like push herself too hard. For example, some like, especially in the music industry, there's a lot of competitive edge. I know part of the reason like why like Mac Miller's life was really tumultuous was because he really felt like he needed to push himself in a creative space in order to do better and to like succeed in his field. And with you, I feel like you know that like you're the tortoise and the tortoise in the hare, you know that slow and steady wins the race, you know that it's so much more fulfilling to continuously go on and do your work when you have the energy to, and when you're not pushing yourself too much, and you're able to create from a space of wholeness, from a space of calmness, from a space where you can use your intuitive capabilities without being overloaded. It is a magical ability. It's very, it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of discipline for someone to be able to do that. So please pat yourself on the back, because you've been doing a wonderful job. Okay. We're going to move on to the next part of what your strongest magical abilities are. Oh, that was so fast. You have me talks, repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Oh, yeah, 100%. You have hollow bone, teachability. That's beautiful. I've never seen this card from the deck. I haven't seen either card ever, so this is really cool. I've had this deck for a couple years, but you know, you're always still learning, and I feel like that's definitely part of this, is that you're always still learning. And you know, we just pulled the curiosity card, so yeah, I think there's definitely such a beautiful wonder, like very like childlike nostalgia that you bring, and it brings this very fresh, vivacious energy to what you do, and it helps you continue to keep going, keep learning, keep invigorating yourself. I really like the colors of this. It's very cool. You have a lot of cards. You have 3 more just popped up, which we absolutely love for you. So let's just put that. You also have, Root Girl, the disowned self. You have In the Hand, the universe is your partner. And then you also have Mindful, groupthink. So your strongest magical abilities is kind of, interestingly enough, it's partly in the space where you are right now. Right now, you are in a space where you're a lot more curious, you're a lot more playful, you have this kind of like openness about you that is very teachable, it's very workable, it's very much you're able to adapt really well to what's going on. And you continuously have the discipline you do and the patience you do because you're always curious about the next thing that happens. You know, you're not anxious for what's to come. You're curious for what's to come. You're excited for what's to come. And you know that what's coming next is always going to be something like very much something that really encapsulates you, something that you're happy to be in the present moment, you know? with this me talks here, repairing the body, mind, spirit, I definitely do feel you have a wonderfully balanced energy where you do take the time to really protect yourself, to give yourself some self-care, to give yourself some love. We are going to pull some self-care cards after this, but yeah, it's in a space where you already know how to really take care of yourself. You already know how to really like give yourself a bath, some reading time, or like taking walks for yourself. You know when your limits are being pushed, and so you're all ready to like, you're ready to distance yourself when you need to. With Root Girl here, the disowned self, I feel like you do have a wonderful aspect of yourself that you can't even create space with you and yourself. And what I mean by that, I feel like you don't take yourself too seriously. I think you are able to really like disassociate from your past selves, especially, so that you have room to move forward and continuously create new versions of you. I feel with this Root Girl, the disowned self, you still have a groundiness of who you are and the boundaries that you put for yourself, but you also have like the ability to grow those roots out and to really see different sides of you. And I think it's because you have a very strong spiritual sense. With the in the hand, the universe is your partner. I don't feel like you ever are alone, or you never really do feel alone. Like, I'm hearing the Sabrina Claudio lyrics of "I'm alone, but I'm not lonely." And I feel like that is you. I feel like you're someone who, even if you find yourself in periods where you're more like by yourself, you're never really upset about that, because you know it's a space where you just have time to really be with yourself, take care of yourself, and really strengthen your ties with the greater spiritual nature at large, with your deities, with your gods, with your goddesses, with Source Divine, with Spirit. It feels like you do take on this space of being able to just connect. And that is a really big gift, to feel like you can be alone, because there are people out there that really feel abandoned when they're alone. So being able to just be present and happy in your own company is quite a magical ability. You know, it's really hard for a lot of people out there to do it, and for you it's a magical gift because it really helps you recharge yourself and recharge your energy. And to move forward, you also have this mindful group thing. I think you're very connected to everything around you. I feel like you're very much someone who is on the trend. You're not only on the trend, but you can also blueprint and predict the next trends. You're someone who really has the connection and ability to really like see what's about to come, because you have a very high level of social intelligence, and you're really able to understand what people need, what people want, what the times are, and how you can move and navigate throughout that. Yeah, and those are your strongest kind of magical abilities. That's really cool. So again, just to recap, it's just a very much like being able to really have and be in your own energy and really like take care of yourself, and still like recharge yourself because of how connected you are, because of how spiritually gifted you are. You're able to really like understand what you need to be doing in the present moment and really make the most of it. Okay, before we get into some self-care cards, I'm actually gonna do something that you can work towards at this time. So what are some magical abilities that my pile number 3s, my amethyst pile, can work towards? You have the card number 11, and we're going to get into what these cards actually mean in a second. You have the card number 58. I swear to God, another pile got that card. You got the card 17. And it's just these 3 cards, so we're going to see. All right. 11, above earth, below heaven, heaven and earth unites, a peaceful paradise. In winter, peace is found through rest. In spring, peace is found through action. Heaven influences earth through the cycles of seasons, and all living things prosper by harmonizing with them. Thus, the wise person finds peace by finding heaven within his or her own earthly being. So yeah, I know this is something to work on. I guess everyone can really work on, but I do feel like you have a good handle on it already, which is being able to kind of be present in your day-to-day and what is needed, like being able to decipher what the seasons are and the cyclical needs of what you are and what you need at the time. So this is interesting because it's both your strongest magical ability, but it's also an ability that I feel like Divine wants you to just kind of be highlighted with, and to, I feel like, more of kind of like a keep going message. This doesn't feel like something like you need to work on this. I feel like this is more of just keep doing what you're doing, keep being present in the energies that you are, and continuously be at peace in the season that you are. So be at peace in the present moment. If you need rest, take your rest. If you need to more movement to take action, go do that as well. But I definitely feel like you are this wise person who finds heaven within your own earthly being. I feel like you have a really good tie and connection to that. So I feel like it's more like, keep going. You're doing great, sweetie. You're really doing great. Okay. Number 58, the joyous. Above lake, below lake, lake after lake, heartfelt joy. The beauty of a lake fills the heart with delight. A series of lakes expands the delight into joy. Even the greatest sorrow holds the promise of returning joy. Just as joy always contains a drop of sorrow, joyousness is spread to others through words and deeds, as lakes spill over into each other. This is not giddy happiness, but rather the knowledge that beauty and love are the truth that survive within the human heart. So I feel like you, again, I feel like you do have some stages of being impulsive, but I do still believe that this whole message of something to work towards is just something like, oh, you're doing great already. Like, you might be impulsive at times, but I still feel like you really know when to pull back and know when to protect your energy. And I definitely feel like you already know that the truth of keeping your beauty routines, your self-care, your love, and extending that outwards to others is really what invigorates your heart and really continues to push you to stay in the present. So yeah, I still feel like this is very much telling you good job. Good job for doing what you're doing. Keep at it. Last one, number 17. Above lake, below thunder. Thunder in the middle of the lake, action suspended. People who are coerced into cooperation will ultimately resist. To obtain enthusiastic followers, one must adapt to the prevailing needs of the time. Act thoughtfully and in the proper context. Success is likely if one's actions are worthy, but a following should not be expected until those conditions are met. And again, I think this just really reiterates what we were saying of acting thoughtfully, being in the present moment, making sure that like you have your own space and you're in the right season to do what you do, because you know, you do have a lot of people that look up to you, whether you know it or not. You do have a big influence, whether you know it or not. And I feel like you have this following because you do worthy actions, you know? Like Sabrina Carpenter, she like really has this successful following because she's really owning her own aesthetic. She's really owning who she is. She's not really backing down from her humor or what's going on, and she doesn't really like entertain a lot of the drama that surrounds her. Like people can make speculations about her, but she's not one to really like comment on it, or she's not really one to like make a big deal about like her love life or anything like that. And I think that's given her a lot of respectability in regards to her fans and the people that listen to her music and watch her bodies of work, like her movies or her shows. I do feel like a lot of people do respect the way she goes about her media rounds, because she's very media literate, and I think that's something you are too. I think you're very in the know of how to condone yourself and how to publicly present yourself. So in that way, you do gain this following. You do gain this influential aspect. And I don't think you ever like coerce anyone. I think like, but I definitely think this is just like kind of like a warning message to not like, to continue to do what you're doing and not get sucked into the drama of things, you know? I don't think you need to like get sucked into like having to prove yourself or anything. So yeah, I think you're doing great. I honestly, Divine Source just wants to let you know that you're doing a great job, and like to continue to be in the headspace where you're at, keep leading with your heart, and continue to like have that protection, have that divinity that surrounds you, that because it really does prove to others how much how worthy of respect you are, and how much you are deserving of the position you are in. All right, and we're gonna end off with some self-care, just some stuff that like, you know, you're doing great and I really don't need to tell you this. So if you want, you can exit the reading and I won't mind, because I definitely feel like you do already have a great head on your shoulders and you don't need me to tell you like what to do. But if you just kind of want to hang out and like just kind of like see some self-care things that you might enjoy, then yeah, we can finish off the reading with that. So what self-care activities can my pile number 3, my amethyst pile, continue to do to elevate themselves and continue to be in their own space? You have use your hands. 1 minute. My camera just died. Yeah, apologies. So you have, 1 sec. Apologies. So you have use your hands. Working with your hands is going to be really good for you to continuously take care of yourself and to kind of like channel the energy that you do get from from those around you and channel your own emotional energy into something by using your hands, whether that be like playing guitar, playing piano, painting, writing, making clay vases, you know? You also have journal. Yeah, writing it down, like really connecting to spirit and source, because this eye is all like, if you see, this eye is like really interesting. So yeah, I feel like being able to really like use your intuitive sense of just kind of like writing whatever you need to write down. And you don't really need to like prompt yourself. If you want, you can just word vomit anything that just like needs to get out. But I feel like you already probably do this. So keep up, keep at it. What other activities can my pie? Oh, there it is. The last ones you have is connect with your womb. So let me just move these over. You also have be still. And last but not least, you have movement. So I think it's funny how both be still and movement came in the same self-care. And I definitely do feel like with this kind of paradoxical notion of be still and movement, I feel like it's just kind of highlighting the fact that you already know like how to conduct your body in what ways it needs to when it calls for it, you know, like, you know, in the times where you need to rest, you will be still. In the times you need to move, you will move. I think this is just confirming that you're doing so wonderful, and continue to connect with yourself. If you don't have a womb, then I definitely do believe this is more like an intuitive nudge of continuously connect with your intuition, with your divine practice, with your spiritual practice, because I definitely do feel like it's serving you in a great way of keeping yourself composed, of keeping yourself recharged, of keeping yourself in a headspace where you're very much protected. You're very much in this beautiful elevated space where you got your life together, and you might not feel like that at times, but you definitely know how to be emotional. You're very emotionally intelligent, and moreover, you're very socially aware. You're also very self-aware, and with those magical abilities combined, it is a powerhouse for you to create and to connect and to really expand yourself into like any space that you're in. As long as you continue to keep up and keep in your space, I honestly think your magical abilities will take you very far in this lifetime. And will sustain you as well. Again, with the whole tortoise and the hare thing, you are the tortoise. You are slow and steady. You win the race. Again, it's being able to really like put one foot in front of the other and do it at a pace that you're comfortable with. And that really highlights how much perseverance, how much dedication, patience, and hard work, as well as self-care work that you're able to do, which is quite a magical ability. Salt of the earth, you are. Salt of the earth, gift from the divine. There is nothing that can really stop you. You're a group that's like, you're not even in your own way. You know what I mean? Like, no, like, I feel like you might also kind of garner a lot of jealousy because people are like, oh man, this person has everything together. They have their ish together. Like, I feel like you're very admired as well. So like, and because you're very protective, the evil eye or jealousy kind of bounces off you and back to them. Like, it's kind of like, oh, like they kind of think about like the jealous moments, and then they're like, oh, I should actually just be inspired by like how much hard work that this person has put in, like into themselves, and maybe I should just take a lesson from their book, knowing that like they got to where they're at because they really worked for it. Yeah, that's how this group really feels, and I'm honestly very honored to read for you. So thank you so much for listening. If you have listened this far down, I want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate the care and love and the attention that you're willing to put not only into this video but into yourself and into your spiritual work. Comment down below, like either like purple heart, or like, I don't know if there's an amethyst emoji, but like a purple heart or something like that, to let me know whether or not you like this video. And if you don't feel like it, no problem. If you don't like commenting, I don't like commenting on a lot of videos. So if you want, you can just leave a like and or subscribe, whatever you feel like you want to do, just to show me that you enjoy these videos. But yeah, if not, no problem. We'll just leave it there. And I want to say I love you so much. Keep doing what you're doing. Have a magical day, my beautiful, beautiful pile number 3s. And I hope you take care, and I hope to see you in the next one. Hi, pile number 4. If you've chosen this glass bottle that's quite witchy, you know, some people in the witch community would put like little spells in there. And this is your reading. So today we're asking the question of what are my magical abilities, and the breakdown of this reading is this is your present energies, and if this resonates with you, then this is your pile. And then we're going to get into your general magical abilities. We're going to go into your strongest magical abilities, and then we're going to do what is something that you can work towards. And with all the groups, I've also done some self-care oracle cards, just to kind of keep up your practice, or just help in like the day-to-day kind of sense of like some like tangible things that you can do to keep up your magical abilities. But yeah, so let's get into it. Your first card is the Knight of Swords, and then your clarifier cards are the Page of Cups, as well as the Fool in reverse. Interesting. Oh, this is an interesting energy. Okay. I might have to be a little bit more honest, a little bit more frank with you, but it doesn't feel like you're in the best energy right now. With this Knight of Swords, particularly in this photo, it feels like this cat is lunging towards something that is not particularly useful or helpful. It feels kind of like it's, I heard the word backsliding. So you might be backsliding at the moment. Not to call you out like that, but I'm 100% going to call you out like that. Especially with this Page of Cups and the Fool in reverse right now. And knowing that all these readings, all my readings are timeless, but like knowing that we just went into a season of eclipses and karmics and people coming back, I feel like this pile where you're presently at is that like I feel like you might have reached out to someone from your past with this Knight of Swords here. You might have like sent them a text or a DM or something. And then like it didn't really go as planned. With this Page of Cups, like, you see this cat is drinking toilet water, and that's not particular. Like, I know toilet water is fine, but like, like, there's kind of like this weird, there's a little bit of a weird like energy to cats drinking toilet water. Like, I really do prefer when like my cats are just drinking filtered water. It's just, like, as long as you clean your toilet bowls, like, there's no judgment, but like, it's also kind of like that notion of like, this cat isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. This cat isn't like drinking out of the right fountain. And I feel like that really symbolizes like what's going on in your life right now with regards to like, I feel like you weren't supposed to do that. I feel like you kind of instinctually know that like you reaching out to this past person wasn't necessarily like the best call, in whatever way that may be. Maybe you talked to them because this Knight of Swords is present. You might have actually verbally like sent them a text or said hi to them like in the hallways, or like you ran into them and then tried to make plans with them after. Or like, it could also be in the more ethereal realm where you kind of let that energy be back in your space, and now you're rewatching all these pick a cards of are they coming back into my life? How do they think about me? Like, stuff like that, and getting yourself kind of trapped in this loop of like having your energy kind of sucked away into this other person. And because of that, the Fool card in reverse is present. Usually I do like to take reversals as like a more inwards energy, but like I very much studied that the Fool in reverse especially is one where it's like you kind of do feel a bit foolish. You kind of feel like you kind of made a mistake. It kind of feels like it wasn't really supposed to like go this way. Like, mistakes are only learning opportunities. So like, don't feel so bad about yourself. We all backslide. Come on. Like, we all think about that person in our life that we really like enjoy their company, and sometimes we really want to have them back. I totally understand where your headspace is at, but I do feel like Divine Source is calling you out right now in regards to your current energies of, maybe that wasn't the best call, because I feel like you also might get into this obsessive energy where all you can do is think about them. All you can do is really like plan your life and revolve it around them. And you kind of get very like hyper anxious and stressed over this person, because it elevates your emotions, both high and low. The good times are great, the bad times are bad. So I definitely do feel like currently you're going through a phase where you have backslided, and you kind of do feel a bit foolish about that. You kind of do feel like you weren't supposed to do that. Like, you kind of like, you kind of know, like, I feel like you have learned the lesson. Like, me verbalizing this, and it's just a confirmation of you knowing that you have learned this lesson of, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But like, I definitely do feel like it's okay. Like, again, we all do this. It is a matter of life, and like, you just know for next time. You know that, like, ooh, you know what I feel like? You know what this is reminding me of? This is reminding me of, like, Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes. When, like, they were in a relationship for a couple years, and then, like, they broke up, and then, they got back together once they saw each other at Coachella, and, like, there was this whole rumor of them being back together again, and the Camila Cabello had to, like, set the record straight, being like, yeah, you know, like it's all love there, like I'll always love him, but like this time it took me less time to figure out that we weren't meant to be. And I feel like this is this pile, you know, like this time it just took you a little less time to know that like the connection that you have with this person isn't necessarily the healthiest. So yeah, let's just leave it at that. Especially with this empty vase too, you know, I don't feel like this person filled up your cup enough. Like I feel like you really did enjoy them for who they were and you cared about them as a person, but I don't think they gave like you the same energy as you did with them. And yeah, I feel like you are a very big presence, because I just saw the Magician and the High Priestess, which are two cards that literally come after the Fool. So I feel like you are on your way to like getting where you need to go. But like, yeah, I think this is just a lesson that you did need to learn for now, because life is life, you know. Sometimes it's just kind of fun to be crushing on someone. I get that. Anyways, let's go into your general magical abilities. Let's take the focus off of this person and back into you, but yet somehow we still have the Lovers come up. So anyways, you have the Nine of Wands that comes up right after. What are the magical abilities of my dear pile number 4s, my beautiful blessed pile number 4s? Let's see where this goes. Yeah, okay. You have Strength reversed. You have the Seven of Swords, I believe, but let me double check. I always forget what the triangle, like I always remember Wands, I always remember Cups, I always remember Pentacles, but I don't know why I have such a hard time like with the Swords. Yeah, this is the Swords symbol for this deck. I guess I'm just not used to it being a triangle, but like that's fine. What are the other general magical abilities for my pile? Okay, my pile number 4s, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Last but not least, you have the Three of Swords in reverse. Nice. That's good. I'm glad. That's good. Aww. Look at this cat. So cute. So very cute. All right, let's get into this reading. Let's put the focus and attention back on you where it belongs. So, your magical abilities, my pile number 4s. Let me just take a second to consult the book a little bit, just to confirm whether my intuition is doing its thing. Oh. Interesting. Okay. So this is very much still a love reading. A lot of these cards do pertain to love. Not only do we have the Lovers, we have the Four of Wands, we have the Seven of Swords, we have the Three of Swords in reverse, and a little bit the Eight of Pentacles kind of talks about it a little bit, but like not really, like that more pertains to you. But your magical ability does very much lie in your love for love. Like and I do love that for you. You know, with the Lovers upright, like I do feel like you do love. I do think you make decisions revolving around love. I do think you definitely are very heart-centered and very loving and caring. And you do really have this emotional beauty about you that can sometimes get you into really high highs, but also into some low lows. With the Four of Wands here, Four of Wands is a very celebratory card. It's one of the cards in the tarot that is most known to be like a very like joyous, happy card. In the Rider-Waite, it looks kind of like a union card. But if not union, a very celebratory card. I find that in the present day, the Four of Wands usually represents in a lot of tarot readings twin flames. If you believe in that, soulmates, like partnerships, if you like kind of like believe in like a divine kind of relationships. And I do feel like there is something about you that does draw your strength, your general magical ability to kind of like love in a way where you're in this romantic movie, you're in this rom-com, you know, your life is a rom-com, and like sometimes you will make decisions that are revolved around the people that you love. But it can get you into a bit of a pickle because with the Strength in reverse and the Seven of Swords upright, I feel like people might take advantage of that. I think your magical ability does kind of hinge upon you seeing the world in rose-colored glasses. And sometimes it's very helpful for you to really like keep in that high vibes, keep in that place of security and beauty and like just being overall in a good mood. But I also feel like this reading is here to kind of like remind you that you can draw your own strength with yourself. You can, with this Strength in reverse, you should be drawing your strength from the inner core of your love for yourself. Because it's right next to the Seven of Swords. I feel like there have been people in your past that have been quite deceptive. They've been a little bit more unfair, been more mischievous in regards, a little bit more blasé too. Like, look at this cat. Look how blasé this cat is. Oh, apologies. My camera just shut off. Apologies. Sorry, I didn't know my camera died there. But as I was saying, if you look at this cat is very blasé, you know, and I feel like that's how your partners might have treated you in the past. They could have been quite neglectful. They might have been using you for your love, to be honest, because you have such a powerful gift when it comes to loving and seeing the world and drawing your energy from really like rose-colored glasses. I feel like it's just people have like taken that for granted. And right now, I'm getting the song Back to You by Louis Tomlinson and BB Rexa in my head. It's specifically the lyric of, you say you know me well, but these days I don't even know myself. And I feel like that can also happen. I feel like you can get lost in the sauce. You can get lost in the relationship. You can get lost in this other person that might not be the best for you. But like, weirdly enough, at the same time, like, you are someone who will fill your cup, because funnily enough, you still will fill your cup. You still will work hard at what you need, regardless of the other person. You know, you put in your work. With this 8 of Pentacles here, 8 of Pentacles is usually about like this hardworking kind of mentality, right? And I find that, like, I feel like you do really put in a lot of work when it comes to your relationships. I feel like you're the person who is planning the dinner dates. You're the person celebrating anniversaries. You're the person who that person can kind of lean back on for support for a lot of things. And I think this is just to remind you that, like, to turn that inward just a bit, you know. With this 3 of Swords in reverse, I kind of love that for you, because this reversal to me really feels like a love that would be very beneficial for yourself. It doesn't connote heartbreak that, like, the 3 of Swords would be upright, but the 3 of Swords in reverse for me in this spread definitely feels like something in which you can pull. You have the opportunity right now to be pulling your energy inwards. You have the opportunity to use your strength and to pull all that love you have back into yourself and pour all that energy back into yourself. And I know that is such a cliche reading to have, and I apologize if you don't like this video. I totally understand. Sometimes you just want to like hear about your person, and I totally get that. I totally get that you just want to know that you're loved by your person. It's just like, I just want you to question why you care about this person so much. I want you to question why you can't pour that love back into yourself. You know, like, if you're doing all this work for another person, why can't you take yourself out on your own dinner dates? Why can't you celebrate yourself and buy yourself that bag you wanted, or buy yourself that really cool like game you wanted, you know? Like, why can't you go to that event by yourself? I think that's something that really wants to be highlighted right now, because like, I think you have so much love. You have so much love and care and beauty and vitality. I definitely want to say vitality as well. Like, you give off this life force energy that's not even like that, like, compensates for your partner. Oof. Yeah, I feel like you have so much love to give that you do compensate for your partner. And I just think that, like, Divine Source just wants to see you in a position where you're getting compensated back, in rom-coms and romantic movies where like the girl or the guy isn't being treated well, and there's like they have two options. They have like the current partner that's not treating them well, and they have the new partner that's like giving them what they need and actually reciprocating their love. And then you're like sitting there in the movie theater being like, why don't you go for this new person? And it's like really hard, because when you're in it and when you're living it, it's like, oh, but you fell in love with this person for a reason, like you fell in love with them because of all the wonderful times and moments you've shared in the past. But I think it really, those two options, because the Lovers is about options, represent the different ways in which the person can love themselves, and the different ways in which like different aspects of the person personified into another person, really. Like if you I think it's like, I forgot what the like movie is, like John, fuck, I forgot the name of the movie. 1 second. It's with Don John. Yeah, it's Don John. With what's his face? Sorry. With Joseph Gordon-Levitt and like Mia Malkova and Scarlett Johansson and Julianne Moore. Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, basically, like he's living this life, like his character is living this life that's really like very much in like an ego-based life, like an unhealthy ego-based life. He like really wants to have like a life that's very societally based. And like it's weird because like he's religious, but like he's also like a porn addict, and so like he has to like continuously like go to like the priest and confess and do confessionals, and then he just feels like he's like good and he's okay. But then he meets and because of that he has like a girlfriend like Scarlett Johansson, someone that like feels like matches his level in regards to like that kind of more egoistic, unhealthy egoistic life where like it's really a transactional relationship. It's not real love there. But yeah, then he meets Julianne Moore, which is like he's kind of like gifted this new life opportunity to see like what it's like to really love another person and to really be with another person and to really like let go of a lot of societal stereotypes that have been like enforced upon him. And I feel like that movie might really resonate with you because like, again, this is a hard pill to swallow. So if you're still here, I commend you for that. But like, yeah, like you might be following a lot of what like societally you're told, that like, you meet another person, you fall in love with them, they're your soulmate, they're your twin flame. And like you just kind of fall head over heels for them, and like they can do no wrong, even though if they like are breadcrumbing you, or they're just a situationship, or like they like don't treat you right. Like I think Divine Source just really wants you to know how much magic you have by yourself, and how much fortitude and vitality you really can create in your own life without having to pour it into another person. I think there's this notion. I'm saying I think a lot. So I think there's this notion of divine source wanting you, because you are in a very heart-centered space, but I definitely feel like there's a notion for you to kind of weigh both options out and not just make decisions from that heart space, but also sometimes make decisions from your head space, or combine the two, you know, like sometimes it's like a interlocking kind of decision making with your head and your heart, where you kind of like know, and they can work together to bring you what's possible, like what's necessary. It feels like if you are in separation with your person right now, that it's meant to be like that for a reason. And I hate delivering that message, but like it is what it is. Like, you know, I think this is a great time for you to really cultivate your own, to really get to know yourself, get to know why you really like this person, you know, get to know what kind of qualities do they possess that made you fall for them, and then just kind of see that you also possess those qualities. You also have the ability to like be inspired by who they are. And it's not to say like you have to cut them off and never talk to them. No, like I'm not saying that. Like if you like, this is your life. If you want to continue like to keep in contact, like honestly, be my guest. But it's just to notice that like why you do like them for like who they are. What do they mean to you? What do they symbolize in your life? Obviously they are their own person, but in the same regards, like they are their own person, and like sometimes they might not always show you the things that they don't want you to know. And so like putting all your eggs in that kind of basket can like be a space where like you miss out on opportunities with other people. And I don't think that's what divine source wants for you, or like you want for yourself, you know. I'm hearing Down Bad by Taylor Swift. So like I don't think you should be revolving your life around them, you know. I don't think you should be crying at the gym. I don't think you should be like mad over the fact that you can't have this person, because at the end of the day, I do really believe this is an opportunity, a chance, a space for both of you to really kind of work on yourselves and work on developing the skill sets that you want at this time. Because I think if you poured all that energy back into yourself, you would progress a lot further than you thought you were going to. You would really like go the distance. I'm seeing the movie Hercules, and like when he's like singing the coming of age song of like he can go the distance. So yeah, I think you can like watch that movie and like kind of be in the energy of Meg a little bit, Megara, and kind of like resist love until you know it's true. Resist love until you know like that person can really give back to you. Because Meg's story in that movie is that she falls for this person, and like she literally gives up her life to save this person. She gives herself up to Hades, gives her soul, basically her mortal body up to Hades, in order to save her quote unquote love. And then that love goes and stabs her in the back and runs away with some other person. Like, what? Like, excuse me? And then she gets very bitter over love. And then until she meets Hercules, she doesn't really believe that like someone can be someone she can trust. So she just kind of like does her time, like, and like works for Hades, develops herself, and like she's a very strong character. She's a very independent character. Like, she even like refuses Hercules's help at first, like being like, oh no, I got it kind of deal, you know. And I feel like that's a energy that like divine source wants you to be in, like, because like they want you to have a strong sense of self, and they want you to be able to not get lost in other relationships, because that only like hinders the relationship. If you were like fully yourself, I feel like you'd feel so much more secure, and then like all this beautiful magical abilities that you do possess would just be heightened, would be strengthened, it wouldn't feel so hard. It would feel very easy. It'd feel very natural. And it's not to say that you won't have like ups and downs. It's just like it won't feel like this like emotional upheaval where like you're crying at the gym, or you're like head over heels in love, like spending your life savings on their anniversary or something, you know. Love is a fickle thing, and I don't like giving the message of like using your like head to always deal with love, but like I do think it is important for dealing with life. Like, know that like you can still love your person, and still like have those sentiments about your person. It's just like, if you saw a friend go back to their ex, wouldn't you be a little concerned, you know? Like, wouldn't you just kind of want them to like focus that energy on themselves and find like a partner that would reciprocate, or like focus on themselves, and until the ex really showed that your friend like they're worthy, then have them come back, you know? Like, it's kind of like that. Like, I think there's just a lot of love and care that divine source has for you, and they just want to make sure that you're like protected and safe, and that you feel loved too, and that you don't have to put in so much hard work in the relationship, and that you deserve to have someone plan your dinner dates and have someone plan your birthdays and be obsessed with you as you are with them. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what your strongest magical abilities are. I really wasn't intending for this to be a love reading at all, but if you stuck around, good for you. I feel like you're already in that like headspace of moving forward, which is beautiful. So your strongest magical abilities, the first card you have is Jeweled Web. Connectivity. And we were saying that earlier. You have this strong love that's that can honestly almost compensate for people. But I think that really just ties into like how connected you are with other people, how well you can read other people. You know, like it is really a magical ability to be emotionally connected to others, because there are things out there like allophixatia, which is like this notion that some people in life cannot discern their own emotions or the emotions of others, and like it causes them a lot of like health problems. Yeah, like emotional health is like, it's real, you know? Like there's been studies out there that really show like that like if you hold a lot of anger, then you can have a lot of heart problems. If you hold a lot of like anxiety, I believe, like you're gonna have a lot of like tension problems. And like it just like it elevates your stress levels, and it can also elevate your blood pressure, and like it, like there are physical consequences to emotional things. And I just want to remind you of that, because like I don't want to Like a divine source doesn't want to see you. I don't want to see you in any harm's way. That's all. You also have Dust Devil, moving out of stagnation. And I love seeing this card for you so much. I really do. Getting out of that stagnant energy, out of the past energy. I do feel like you really have a gift for movement. Deep, and as I say that, you have deep, quiet meditation and stillness. Paradoxically, you also have the gift and the ability to really quiet your minds, if you know it or not, to really be with yourself. And I think when you do have moments of letting this person go, you do get into a state of being able to heal and repair yourself and get into this more meditative state. You also have, let me do these two. You also have Dream Thief, refusal of the call. Yeah, I really love that for you. And then you have Cosmic Womb, the Divine Feminine. Fuck yeah. If you ever heard Mac Miller's Divine Feminine album, it is such a good album. Listen to it front and back. I 100% recommend. It's so good. It's very R&B, soul, jazz elements to it. It's highly sexual too, so like it's just to give you a warning, it's like it's NSFW kind of album, so just letting you know. But yeah, so with your strongest magical abilities, it's actually being in the divine feminine, in this cosmic womb, in connecting with yourself and who you are, and with others around you. It's being able to find this stillness, this calmness, this in your power, very much in your power, strength, you know, like with this refusal of the call. I think the strongest magical ability you do have is refusing other people who do not show up the way you show up. I think it feels like that you have this really huge energy space where you can move out of stagnation when you feel like it, when you choose to, when you want to. It feels like you get a lot of stuff done. You are in a space where you are just a lot more centered. I think when you are in your magical abilities, especially in your strongest magical abilities, you find this kind of power within to really continue to do what work you need to do. And you don't let people in that aren't needed in your life, you know? Like, it just feels like when this person of yours comes around, it just kind of feels like your whole being is just is just frozen. But when you're in your power, you can kind of like put up your boundaries and refuse that energy and like connect more deeply with yourself and to others around you, your other social supports around you. It feels like you gain a larger social network, especially when you're not having to like play a character that's just so like deeply entrenched in another person. I feel like when you stand in your own power, your strongest magical abilities allows you to really do you, you know, and to be at peace. I think there's just like a really big peace element that comes in when you have this when you are in your magical elements, when you are really with yourself. And with the number 6 here, it feels like on a day-to-day basis, you get your work done so much easier. Like, it just feels like there's this deep breath of relaxation. It feels like you're done before you even thought you would be. And you have that, like, let's say you thought it was going to take you the whole day to get your work done, but oh my gosh, lo and behold, you're done by noon, and now you have the rest of the day off to do whatever you want. That's how it feels like when you hanker down and use your magical abilities and your energy of being able to focus on the task at hand. You're able to like get things done more effectively and efficiently. And this cosmic womb, the divine feminine, is a reminder for you to really like hearing Rava from Legend of Korra. It's a reminder for you to really understand that one can't exist without the other. So this person may in fact be your other half. They really, because if they like, you know, like the other half of Rava is Katu, and one cannot exist without the other. And I think like it's not that they're necessarily good for each other, but I definitely do feel like they do best when things are in balance. They do best, the divine feminine and masculine, when things are in balance, when it's imbalanced in you and you have a balance of the divine. If you're non-binary, if you just have a balanced sense of who you are within, it provides you with a lot of space to really be yourself and not have to worry and not have to stress. I just feel like emotionally you're a lot more able to take care of yourself. And I do believe that this other person who you really do find that you have an attachment to will come back in your life when both of you are ready, when the time comes. It just doesn't feel like this is the right moment. It feels like channeling this through divine is that like that's still in the future, and like wouldn't you want to come back to your person being a more fulfilled version of yourself, being a more whole version of yourself? And I'm not trying to say you're not whole now. I just mean someone where you don't like, someone who you don't feel like you get lost in the other person. Someone who can really stand in their own strength to continue to do the work they do without having to put their all into a relationship, and having that relationship probably flourish even more and gain stability as long as you are within yourself, you know? Yeah, it definitely feels that way. And again, if this doesn't resonate and you're not liking this, then this is obviously not your pile. But like, yeah, I really do hope this does help in regards to that connection. I'm not saying that all love is lost. I'm just trying to channel from the divine. The cards are saying that like you could benefit from really just being in your own power and doing your own thing, and you could benefit, especially emotionally. Apologies, my camera. I only have like a 15 to 20 minute limit on each of this, so but yeah, like it definitely feels like you could benefit emotionally and subsequently health-wise, physically, if you're in your own power. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to get some cards in regards to some things that you can work on right now, even though it kind of feels like this whole reading's been a little bit like that, and I'm so sorry. I really did not intend for it to be this way. You can also pick another pile if you feel like it. I totally understand. You have the card number 36 and the card number 53. Okay, I'm getting that's it. So these are the only two cards that really want to come up. So let's get into the card number 36. Above earth, below fire, a fire under earth, a time for caution. To survive dark times, one's inner light must be concealed and protected. What have we been saying? It does not serve to draw attention to oneself under the present circumstances. The work should be done in secret and the player should appear compliant. Less strength is reserved and future success is more likely. So right now, just kind of being like in the shadows, just kind of keeping to yourself, kind of like, I think revealing yourself to this person only hinders your progress with a lot of things. And like, I feel like their judgment on your life really like doesn't help you succeed in where you need to go. So if you could continue to do what you're doing without like having to like talk about it too much, or being vague with your answers, like if they ask about like how's your day or what did you get up to, like just being a little bit more vague and being like, oh, like I was taking care of myself, or like I was getting my work done, you know, without having to divulge into like what you were actually doing. Because I feel like there might be a judgment around this person in terms of what you're doing, or if not, it's just like there might even be some jealousy or insecurity on their end that they're not verbally like telling you. And this doesn't have to be your person specifically. It can be other people in your life as well. But I find that people like who love and care about you, they still can be jealous and insecure within themselves, and then, you know, that's something that they're working on, but I don't think they ever really want to put that on you. I think it just kind of happens because of how well you can really succeed at what you're doing, you know. I find that like this whole reading just really justifies like how much strength, how much power you do have within yourself, and how much, again, vitality is one of the biggest words coming up in this reading, how much vitality you have to push forward and continue to work hard and with discipline at what you do. And again, when it says less strength is reserved and future success is more likely, yeah, like you don't have to explain yourself to the other people. You really don't have to like tell them your business, because it just like it kind of like pulls on your energy. And you know, spirit, just divine source, your gods, your goddesses just want you to like be able to succeed in what you love. You have card number 53. Gradual development. Above wind, wood, below mountain. A tree on the mountain, right action takes time. Trees do not grow overnight, and a tree on a mountain faces particular challenges of wind and weather. Any expectation of rapid growth is unrealistic, and it is the slowness of the tree's growth that gives it strength. A great endeavor takes time to gather its resources, influence the people, and plan the right action. High aspirations will be achieved, but only in the proper season. Haste will not further the situation. Yeah, and as I've been saying, especially with this person, rushing back into things won't necessarily like bring you any more joy or success in the relationship. It actually will hinder it. If you want some inspiration, I think you should watch pile 3, because it's very much a slow and steady wins the race kind of energy to be in. And I feel like that's something that that would be beneficial for you, to be understanding that things do take time, and like when you do come back to this person, it's going to be more successful if you've taken the time to really like grow yourself and grow through the adversities that you face alone, so that when you are with them, you don't have to like depend on them for so much. And like high aspirations will be achieved, but just in their proper season, just in the proper timing, just being able to recognize that like this is not the right time for you and them, and that's okay. Things will happen in the future as long as you continue to work on yourself right now and take care of yourself right now. And with that, we're going to get some closing self-care cards to end off the reading. So how can my pile fours take good care of themselves? You have dream journal. Are you sleeping? Yeah, just making sure that you are getting enough rest. Maybe journaling it out so it's not in your head all day. Oh, look, we have alone time. Wow, I'm not even surprised, but I am really happy that it came out. Alone time is very beneficial for you right now. Take a walk. Going and taking a walk is going to be very nice for you as well. Just being able to move your legs, get out of that stagnation. Again, there's a lot of things that could be stuck in the body. There's a book called The Body Holds Trauma by Bessel van der Kolk, and it really just shows you how like the human body stores emotions and how much that does affect us on a day-to-day basis. You also have spend some time with friends. I like how it's specifically friends. So if you don't want to be alone right now and like that's really not your MO, then Divine Source is telling you can spend time with friends. Just make sure that it's friends that really like care about you and comfort you and give you that that loving energy that you need. You also have a burning bowl ritual. I love burning bowl rituals because you get to express so much of yourself without hurting another person. So what I would usually do is I would take a piece of paper and then just word vomit exactly how I feel. No niceties, don't even think about it. Just write what you feel down on the paper, and then with safe precautions and safe measurements, do this where you can contain a fire, be smart about the fire. Throw it into the fire and release it and let it go. I find that it's very therapeutic. It really helps me release a lot of negative emotions or pent up emotions that have been in my energy space. I also seeing the number 444 right now on the clock. So just know you are heavenly protected. You are in a sphere of angels. There are people out there right now looking to give you some safe spaces for you to just kind of grieve and be and emote and feel and release whatever you need to release. So yeah. These are all the messages I have for you today, my pile number 4s. Thank you so much if you're still here, still listening. Thank you for letting me read for you. It's always a pleasure. This was a little bit more of a tough love reading. So if you stuck around, props on you. You are a real one. You are a true bundle of joy. And I'm sending you so much love because I know you just deserve so much love your way. If you did listen all this way, you can comment down a picture of like, let's do a picture of a lion for you. I know yours is a bottle, but like I think the symbol of the lion, of being really much in your strength and in your energy, would be really cool. And you can comment that down below if you've gone all the way to the end, or if you like these longer readings, or if you just want to comment something. I'm so happy to always read your comments. They really uplift me and make my day. But yeah, if you're a silent watcher just like me, I totally understand. You can give a like, subscribe, and if you don't feel like it and you just enjoyed the reading and you don't want to do anything, that's totally cool too. No pressure. I'm just happy that you're here, and I'm happy that you're listening, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a wonderful, magical rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.